We're live? We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, O'Reilly's Irish Pub, welcome to Final Four weekend here in Indianapolis. Sleepers Live, third time this month that we get to do something like this. First time in the history of this organization that we have our mostly entire team here, and it's been a really fulfilling week. J-Man is with us, Dion's with us, Cart, myself. We got Ian, we got Matt behind the scenes. We have three producers for the first time ever at once, and only one of them is just making chapstick errands during a live show. Cart, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Besides the fact that my rival school is on the cusp of winning a national title and maybe being one of the most historically great college basketball teams of all time. I'm great, I guess.
It's been a long week for him. This is a Michigan bar, which we knew going in. I was hesitant to say that.
Who knew that going in?
We did book this early, and I was hesitant to say it. You could say we were confident, Jamin.
Yeah, you were definitely confident, rightfully so. Michigan, you guys talk about, but like it's a Michigan bar, and the vibes are great for you. It's a great jacket you're wearing. It's a sharp hat. Like you're living your best life right now, and Carter's not living his best life, and I'm really not either. Because also UConn's in it, who has knocked Duke out now in three most important March Madness games I can think of my lifetime. So Cart is down bad. I'm also down bad, and you're living the lavish life.
And Dion has a flight booked during the national championship game. Dion, tell me more.
Yeah, so I'm not having a good Final Four at all, but I do have to say this. I think it's better than last year. So I think if we go to enough Final Fours, I'll finally have a good one. We're making baby steps.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my performance yesterday. I like the way I started Friday, ended poorly. And most importantly, not enough people are talking about this. I play for the Crown in an hour.
This is extremely true. If you want to do a live Crown watch along with Dion, you can do that live during this show. Gentlemen, cheers, first of all, before we go any further. Cheers, microphone, cheers with J-Man. Here we go. All right, come see us, by the way. It's going to be a long afternoon. We started a little bit late. That's on brand, but we'll be here until 7 p.m. Eastern, and we have quite a list. If you haven't noticed, we haven't done any of our normal Sleepers content yet. We were saving it for the show today. So in order, just a little rundown. We're going to go through Illinois, UConn first. We'll go to Michigan second in terms of recaps. We have a lot of reactions to give about things happening in the sport, things coaches have said that you would normally see on the channel in the form of shorts. And then we'll give you a national championship preview before we get out of here. All of that will end up on the channel in its normal form. But if you want it first, you better watch the show live. We're going to get our whole team on board. We might have some special guests along the way as the show rolls on. In fact, Tristan Freeman just walked in the door. Tristan Freeman, hello, salute. We'll get him up on the stage in a little bit. But let's jump right into Illinois and UConn first. The first semifinal official recap starts now. Dan Hurley does it again. Third time in 4 years that Dan Hurley has taken this program to a national championship game. The difference, this team, and I've been a skeptic all year, UConn fans know this, this team was not supposed to be here. This team did not win the Big East regular season. This team did not win the Big East tournament. This team has not ranked within the top 7 or 8 in the sport analytically all season long, and yet here they are again. Card, how did they do it?
I think it's Dan Hurley magic. I really, truly think it is. Analytically, when you look at this team, they're the lowest rated KenPom team that was in the Final Four. You look at also how well Illinois was playing. Coming into this game, Illinois fans should have been feeling great about how their team could stack up in this scenario. And look, we'll dive into it a little bit deeper, but I think you really, truly saw what coaching can do in this game. And that's not to say that Brad Underwood got out-coached by any means, but I thought that the game plan from UConn was perfect. What they did defensively, I thought worked extremely well against Illinois. And, Dan Hurley's inevitable at this point, truly. And, we're not going to get too ahead of ourselves here, but he's on the cusp of doing something really, really special that's going to put him up with the all-time greats.
Yeah. I have a lot of ways to frame this sort of historically that I'll get to later, but sort of instant reaction, J-Man. UConn getting to this point in the season as, what, a 2 seed?
Yeah. 2 seed, yeah.
Like, how surprising is that to you after what you watched all year?
Yeah, it's surprising. And listen, like, Caravan has been was really good for them throughout the last half into the regular season. And, the last couple games in March, he's been kind of struggling. He's like 1 for 7. He hit 1-3 against Duke. But the guy that's really taken over is Terrence Reed. Like, Terrence Reed has made himself a lot of money in this March Madness run. It started he was the reason they beat Furman. If he doesn't have 31 and 27, they might have been upset in the first round. Like Furman was there for the whole time until they just couldn't get rebounds because Terrence Reed, and he's been huge for them, scoring, rebounding, and shot blocking. And he's just been a one-man wrecking crew, and he's led this UConn team straight to the national championship.
I think it's fair to say Terrence Reed may have been the best player in this tournament thus far. Certainly me, as Greg Waddell. Can I believe that I'm saying that? No. I have slandered Terrence Reed a lot. When he transferred to UConn, I believe my exact stance was he may have the lowest IQ of any player in America. And let me look directly in the camera. He has improved more than any player in here and in here than I've ever seen. And it's a credit to him. I give him all his flowers. I can't come back on the bandwagon. I can't sit here and be like, you know what, I'm happy for Terrence. I slandered Terrence. I'm not going to come here and act like I didn't. But there is a part of me that is watching this as Michigan simultaneously gets to this moment. Nimari Burnett and Terrence Reed play together. Will Cheddar and Terrence Reed play together. Juwan Howard watched these games courtside last night, and part of me feels happy for a guy that I think went through what Will Cheddar and Nimari did, where out of no part of their own, you were on one of the losingest teams ever, and now here you are, because of your own work, getting back to a national championship.
I thought UConn set the tone. It was a carryover from the last game. Braylon had 6 of the first 10 points, and I think that was super important for them. Going into that first Illinois timeout, Braylon set the tone, and then Terrence took over. He had 11 and 5 at halftime. I said Terrence would get 20 and 10. He kind of slowed down in the second half. I felt like he controlled the boards. The best way to take Terrence Reed out of the game is have him make silly fouls. I don't think Illinois went to the Visages enough against Terrence. I think they should have went to the post way more than they did.
And I think the real thing with Terrence, too, is that in this run that UConn's had, it's usually always caravan. But in big moments of this game, when Illinois made the little mini runs or they had out of the timeouts, Dan Hurley was drawing up things to get Terrence Reed post touches down low, and he finished every single time. And I know that you said this earlier, Greg, but usually March is all about guards, right? It's been a big man run for Terrence Reed. It really has. Like, usually it's all about the guards. It's the Carson Edwards runs. It's Kemba Walker's. Terrence Reed is having one of the greatest tournament runs individually of any player right now. And if he casts it off with a victory against this Michigan front court, I will tell my young 19-month-old son about the time that Terrence Reed took over the NCAA tournament.
I want to float this to you guys. I was saying this to Carr earlier at the Hammer House, by the way. And Ryan Hammer, shout out for this. Yeah. You see, this is the coldest jacket I've ever seen, and I have a Ryan Hammer home field specialty, so thank you for that gift today. But let me read you Terrence Reed's game logs in this tournament. 31 and 27 against Furman in an 11-point win. 10 and 13 against UCLA. 25 and 4 against Michigan State. 26, 9 and 3 against Duke, and now 17 and 11 against Illinois. He has undeniably been the best player on the floor in every single game.
Yeah, I mean, the shot blocking, too, in those games as well. I mean, he had Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer was trying to get to the foul line. He did a good job of altering and blocking his shot to not get in foul trouble because him being that aggressive on defensive end, it's always can be a slippery slope for a big guy like that. That's a shot blocker. Get 2 quick ones. Credit to him, this whole run that he's had, he's been not in foul trouble at all. Like, he's done a very good job of being an impact player and being aggressive and knowing to pick his spots when to be aggressive.
And we've talked about this at times this year, Cart. We'll get to the Illinois side of this game. One way Illinois has been vulnerable a lot is when there is just a physical beast in the paint. And Terrence Reed, I thought, set the tone of this game very early.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need your best players to play their best in these basketball games. And honestly, that's a really good transition to, I think, Illinois on this side because I don't know if the best players played their best.
I have a Terrence thing first.
Please.
So, want to float this. You guys haven't heard this from me. Cart has. The idea of these magical personal runs that we think of in March. Usually it's a guard, right? Like Shabazz, Kemba, if we want to keep it in the UConn world. We don't often talk about big men that put their team on their back and go on a run like this. Not just to get here, but let me say something. If UConn were to beat this Michigan team, if he was to look Adai Mara and Merez Johnson in the eyes and go for 20 and 15 or something crazy to win a national championship, he might have the most impressive individual big man run of any player I've ever seen.
Can I ask you something, G?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be disrespectful by this. How much money is on the line tomorrow night between Merez Johnson and Terrence Reed?
A lot.
because Terrence Reed could take Merez's NBA spot, I feel like there's similarities in the game. Merez is a lot better at stretching the floor and I think guarding on the perimeter, and I think that's going to go a long way for him at the next level. But this Terrence Reed run could make him a ton of money at the next level.
Well, here's the thing with what you're saying. I mean, just recently, Zach Edey obviously led Purdue as a one-man ranked crew to the national championship game, got outclassed. DJ Burns made that Final Four run, ran into Zach Edey, and we've seen big men kind of have these moments where they just, hey, get on my back. I'm taking you to almost the promised land, get you to the national title game or the Final Four. Terrence Reed can finish this off against his old team. I mean, that's a hell of a college basketball story.
We'll do the preview, and I'll share my full thoughts on the matchup. But just truly, like, the moment for him, imagine that. He started at that program. And now the final obstacle for him in a storybook career now is to overcome this monster front court he never could have imagined.
Yeah.
And I just give him all the credit in the world, man. I was a huge doubter. Dan Hurley deserves a ton of credit developmentally, but truly Terrence Reed has become a player I just never expected to see. So, all right, you want to flip to Illinois, Cart? Where do you want to start?
I mean, I think that you got to start with the fact that when it's the biggest games of the year, you need your best players to show up. And I'm not saying – I thought Katon had overall a good game. I thought his shot from three-point range was a little bit off. But outside of that, I thought UConn did a great job of slowing this game down. There was a couple things they needed to execute in the half court. And I really thought that the execution and the shot making wasn't there from Illinois, a team that has been high-level offense all year. I mean, I think they've been between 1 and 2 on KenPom offensive efficiency-wise all year. And for them to kind of, for lack of a better term, I guess it is Easter lay an egg of sorts offensively in that game, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Are we going to let that go?
That was crazy.
The O'Reilly's got to me. I'm
That was
sorry.
crazy.
No, listen, you gotta fight back.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But I feel like they're leaving this game just thinking that they left it out there a little bit. UConn played well, don't get me wrong. But I think Illinois could have executed a lot better and made more shots in that game.
Well, let's say what you and I said to each other, right? We were in the arena last night, Cart, Jacob, and I, in an undisclosed location at Lucas Oil Stadium. And, midway through the first half, I think all three of us just sort of looked at each other and said, this is bad bunk. This is not a great basketball game. Now, you can have a bad basketball game in a big moment, and it feels like a better basketball game because of the pressure and the stakes. But both teams offensively, I thought, really struggled. I don't think UConn played anywhere near their best. The hard part for me, I think Illinois fans' excuse, or not even excuse, takeaway from this game is, well, we just missed all our shots. We got all the looks we wanted. We just missed them. So did UConn.
Yeah.
That, to me, as an Illinois fan, you can't sit here and say that because so did UConn. Alex Caravan had a million wide open threes that he missed. So do I wish both teams brought it and made shots and played better? Of course. Neither did. In that sense, from the Illinois perspective for me, it would be really frustrating to go out like that because UConn has done a great job on this run. That was nowhere near the best game UConn has played. It was there for the taking. Nobody besides Katon Waggler and maybe Tommy showed up.
Yeah, and listen, if I am an Illinois fan, I am that sore loser. I am the one. I'm like, hey, we would have won this game if we knocked down shots. That one layup that just went in and out and stayed on the back rim and rolled off, I've never seen anything like that ever, and I've seen a lot of misses. I would have that biggest gripe. Yes, you are right, though. UConn did miss easy shots, but again, as a team that loses, you got to always go to that excuse right away. We missed shots. We missed shots that we should make.
We have a resident excuse expert now. We finally got to do that.
It's like, you know what?
Excuses. What is your excuse for Isaiah Evans being 90 feet away from the basketball with the game on the line?
This is not a Duke video right now, Dion. You need to know your place, know your role over there, Spencer Hubbard. And
I love this guy, by the way.
And but all jokes aside, Illinois, I would say the same thing. Look, we miss shots that we normally make. Blame them play the basketball. That's what I did. It feels a lot better getting that off my chest.
I feel like Illinois missed a lot of shots, but I also feel like after that first time out, I want to say it was like 10-4 UConn when Braylon had 6 of the first 10, Terrence had the other 4. Illinois looked rushed. It wasn't that they were just missing shots they normally get. They were good looks. They got the looks they wanted. But when you're rushing to try and come back, you're constantly playing from behind. You miss those looks more often than if you're playing under control. I don't feel like Illinois played under control at all.
I want to know if you guys noticed this, or maybe it was just me. did it feel like there was a sense of frustration from the Illinois side as well? Like, I know they're comfortable playing slow, but they're missing these shots. And then UConn is running floppy set after floppy set, screen after screen, pin down left, pin down right. Everything's going on. And then UConn was converting. UConn made 12 threes in this game. Not the best percentage, but they made a good amount of threes for them in this basketball game. Did you sense some frustration? I know I saw Merck react a little bit frustrated with maybe some foul calls. Did you feel that sense of frustration with them?
Yeah, I don't know what this game was for Merck or Kylin at all. And I think that's the hardest pill to swallow for a team that was so lovable, for a team that gave you so many great moments and really rose to the occasion so many different times. I mean, I think I've taken the stance as one of Merck's biggest fans that he can't really be shook in a moment. I didn't think we would see composure be an issue for David Mirkovic, and it was. And I still am having a hard time sort of processing that because I just don't – I think he's been so poised and so mature as a basketball player. He's a processor. He makes decisions. He's the heart of this team in a lot of ways to me. And so is Katon. And, look, Katon was productive. He ended up with damn near a double-double, 20 points on 16 shots. 2 for 10 for 3 was the problem. And I would like to unpack Dan Hurley's defensive approach in this game because we know Illinois wants to mismatch hunt, but they are at their most dangerous when there's a lot of playmaking going on. This is a really high-level passing team between Katon, Tommy, Kylin, and Merck. And what they finished with, 3 assists?
Yeah, on 56 shot attempts.
I mean, they had 0 assists most of the first half, and you could feel it in the moment. And I think in the preview, I hypothesized that maybe Hurley's kryptonite here for Illinois would be trying to force this into an Andre game. He didn't necessarily single out Andre, but what he said, it was very much what Purdue did in Mackey Arena.
Yeah.
It was, we are going to switch everything. We are going to stay home on shooters. Like, if you want to beat us one-on-one off the dribble, go do it.
Right.
And the problem was in that arena, let's call it what it is, it ain't shooting in Mackey Arena over Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. This is in a football stadium with depth perception issues. And Katon was, airballing, hitting shots off the side of the backboard that we know he can make. So, look, again, Katon was amazing. That's not a knock on him. But it's very much what Dan Hurley wanted. He wanted those shots, and Merck and Kylin did not rise to the occasion.
Yeah, but that's basketball, though, isn't it? I mean, I hate doing that because it's not supposed to make you feel better. But, you're supposed to make shots. You got to step up in that moment. And if I could approach it from an Illinois standpoint, they're getting their best guys. They're the best offense in the country. They're just trying to go one-on-one. Sometimes you need your guys to go make a play. We've seen plenty of times this year Merck get guys one-on-one and go make plays. It just seemed like they weren't able to do it enough. They also had long spells where they weren't able to do it. And then you have Jaden Ross hitting threes. Jalen Stewart hit a 3 in this game. You got to give credit, even small moments, those guys stepped up.
Can we go back to I thought Katon was good. I don't want to harp on him too much.
It's hard when he has 20 and 8.
I don't know what I don't have the box score up. I have the YouTube chat up. I do want to talk to them about the booster seat comments at some point. But anyway, what was he from 3? It felt like he couldn't make a 3 the whole night.
He was 2 for 10.
You can't do that. He had a great game, but if your best player goes 2 for 10 from 3, it's going to be really hard to beat Dan Hurley.
Well, and also Illinois did battle back. I mean, they were down double digits. They cut it to 4 twice. And that last one, Braylon Mullins hit his biggest 3 in March Madness with that 3 to put them back up 7. I was like, you know what? This Braylon Mullins 3, the most memorable 3 he's hit all season was that one against Illinois. And that was a big shot by him. But Illinois, you just got to get a hand up.
It was also the farthest 3 he's taken.
You fast forward to the end of it. I mean, look, again, I think it's hard to knock Katon too much. When he finishes with 20 and 8, I mean, give Tommy credit too. He was productive. Nobody else on the team gave you even a D effort. Everybody else was, this is their worst game of the season. So it's hard to knock the guy that finished with 20 who's the best player. But I thought, given the fact that UConn kept leaving the door open, there were so many points I kept looking to you and saying, man, this is a 5-point game with 4 minutes left. Yeah. And the one thing in those moments, you could feel it with where Merck's head was at, with how bad Kylin had been. The only path forward to a win was for Katon Waggler to be the guy I've compared him to all year. Mm. And that's the thing. I've called him 6'6" Trey Burke. The door was open, down 5 from 6 minutes left until 3 minutes left. He had a million possessions, down 2 possessions to cut it 1, and it just never got there. And Look, did I think the looks were bad? No, we've seen him make those a million times.
Yeah.
But we say it all the time. Legacies are made in March. Yeah. And I think Katon Waggler left a legacy on the table in this game, which is frustrating.
Well, I think that's a good way to go back full circle to what you started with, though, because when Illinois went on their run, I felt like UConn went away from Terrence, and the moment that stopped, they went right back to Terrence, and he had 6 huge points in the final 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, there were a couple ATOs, not to make it a big coaching thing, but, a close game, situational, 2-possession game, take a timeout. What do both teams get? Hurley, who they've been doubling Reed the whole second half. Hurley gets a quick hitter, Terrence Reed post touch. You can't double, 2 points.
Yep.
Illinois comes out and runs isolation. Yeah, and that's what they do, but I just thought it was a credit to Dan Hurley.
Yeah, and also for this UConn team, man, winners make the game-winning plays are the most important plays, and UConn's done that back-to-back games where the Mullins 3, the reason he hit that is Caravan missed the 3. They got the offense rebound and kicked it to Mullins, who hit a 3 later in the possession. If you get that defense rebound, you're down 4, you go get a bucket. Now it's really tight. UConn's only up 1 or 2, and that's what UConn did. Credit to UConn against Duke, where Duke made the initial shot miss. They get an offense rebound, got second chance points. Just Illinois got to get that key defense rebound, or UConn is going to bury you, and that's just what happened.
Yeah. I want to go through a couple guys on Illinois, and just kind of the way you and I would normally do this.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of minutes, Big Z played 6 minutes in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been that uninvolved. Now, I think this was a good Tommy game relatively, so did that surprise you? Does that matter to you looking back on this game?
No, because I think in that 6-minute stretch for Big Z, it was a loudly bad 6 minutes. I think you were able to get the floor stretching that you wanted from Big Z. I also thought that they were, UConn was letting that pick and pop kind of happen. So I thought it was a good move. And obviously, I think Zanimir is a shot blocker, but the one thing is he's more on the slender side, right? He's a little bit on the slender side. Terrence Reed is all of 265, 275 pounds. I don't think it was really a game for him to play in this one.
Yeah, I felt the same. Did anybody feel different on that?
No, I agree with Cart there. Just looked like he was overwhelmed in his stretch there.
Yeah. I agree with Cart. I think Illinois allowed them to take them out of the 2 big lineup, though. I would have liked them to run the 2 big lineup to try to get Terrence in a little foul trouble. To put a little pressure on Terrence defensively, I think they allowed Terrence to play so free, and I don't think they really tried to affect him in any manner on that defensive end.
This is very low on the list of line items of Illinois problems, but it is something I felt in this tournament run. Jake Davis, who was in the starting lineup and a big part of the best portion of Illinois' season this year, was really a non-factor in the entire NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it a little bit in some games before this. It kind of became a thing where it's either Andre or Jake. It was never like them kind of, maybe bringing a change of pace to the basketball game. It was either Jake Davis having a good game or Andre's having a good game. And I think you kind of saw that happen down the stretch. And, he was really very, very quiet down the stretch, the last stretch of the season and in this tournament.
Well, man, we listened and we did the stupid, rank every starter in the Final Four. And Illinois fans were like, why aren't you putting Andre? It's like, because we said starters. And clearly Jake Davis was the worst guy in a starting lineup in this point in the tournament. Not to harp on him. He averaged 2 points a game in 5 NCAA tournament games.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't have that type of lack of production. Only 1 shot attempt the last 2 games in the tournament run. Like a guy that can shoot the rock a little bit, I'd like to see him at least put a couple threes up early. If you miss both, then you can play that game. You can play the passive game the rest of the game, but give yourself some confidence to shoot and see if one can go in early in the ballgame.
He looked like me in the pickup runs with Coleman and Stu Douglas.
that performance really has.
Well, no, he I saw him when he caught the ball. He wanted to get rid of the ball so quickly.
You know who I thought looked good though, and the box score doesn't do him justice. Humrizzi was good. Humrizzi was good.
Humrizzi was good. Shout out to those seniors. I know we do this with a lot of teams, but really fun Illinois team. It is sucks to see those guys after the game be so broken. Obviously, given the run that they're able to go on.
Humrizzi's not a senior.
Humrizzi's done.
Humrizzi is like a 7th-year senior.
I can find Humrizzi another year.
I feel the need to throw this in here, not to go full Davo Flats on us right now, but this UConn team's been about defense this year. They have analytically been a really good defense, and I do think that what they did both physically and just kind of sitting down and getting stops, you really do got to give them credit. They did play a factor in this. Silas Demery had a classic first-year Tristan Newton type game where he just had 7, 7, and 5. He picked up Waggler full court, which I do think maybe even has an effect on his shots from 3-point range. He looked gassed at the end of the game. So you do got to give all credit, or not at least partial credit, to the fact that UConn was able to do some things defensively.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I thought it was a Hurley masterpiece. I thought the way he approached the game and what he wanted Illinois to get was what they got the entire game. And that's Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
Like, he is the baddest dude in the sport. If there was one guy that could win you a game at any given point, it's him. His players stepped up in various ways too. But I just thought there was a difference. And one thing I would say to anyone who wants to make this, a coaching mismatch, it's Dan Hurley. Yeah. He's a mismatch with anyone. Yeah. Your coach, with my coach, it doesn't matter. And it is Dan effing Hurley.
And what did you say to me about teams that if you're going to beat Dan Hurley, you can't pull up with your C+ or your B- game in a setting like this and expect to beat Dan Hurley?
No. Even last year, the national champs needed like 4 clutch Walter Clayton moments to win a round of 32 games.
No, you can't beat Dan Hurley if your star player is going to go 2 for 10 or your best free throw shooter is 90 feet away from the ball with 20 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
You have to show up with your A stuff. You have to make sure you're playing at your best. And I don't think Illinois necessarily did that. I will say this. Obviously, this isn't the preview, and I know we'll get into that. I would much rather play Dan Hurley on 24-hour rest than giving him a week to prepare.
I just pray to God that Luke Murray takes all the powers to Boston College. That's all. That's the only thing I have hope for right now with Dan Hurley now in his 3rd title game now in 4 years. Luke Murray, take that to Boston because I can't take this anymore.
Please make it stop. But no, look, is it fair to say Dan Hurley outcoached Brad Underwood? I think we would all say yes, thumbs up. Yeah. But my point is this. For the people that say Brad makes no adjustments, he came out at halftime with a double on Terrence Reed. That worked. Yep. It did stymie the UConn offense. Yeah. That is something I think he deserves credit for. Should he have gone to it quicker? Maybe. But ultimately, like the story of this loss for Illinois was the players didn't make plays.
Yeah.
And they set this up to be a team where your guys need to go win you a game. And we walked into the tunnel as Tyler and Brad walked out onto the court for their official entrance to the Final Four. We just so happened to time it perfectly. We were joking. We've had these serendipitous moments in like 2 years of doing this where we're just in the right place at the right time. And, the whole program was behind them. The players hadn't run out yet. It was those two. It was father-son walking through a tunnel to that moment. And I think Cart and I were the only people that walked by them in the tunnel. And I felt it emotionally knowing where they've taken this program. But also, let's be clear, they built this program into a place where the players have to win you games. Mm-hmm. That's why it's such a great place to go. I mean, you probably feel the same with Duke. Obviously, Shire can win you a game. Yeah. But, like, even Dusty May, like, it's about the players making plays. Yeah. Illinois didn't.
Yeah, you said it best. Players didn't make plays, and the shots that I jokingly said about missing, Illinois fans literally are going to see that when they rewatch the games. Like, we make those shots. We made those. We advanced the national championship. That's what makes March Madness March Madness. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way.
Yeah. All right, can we do a little quick Illinois offseason speculation?
Please.
Go ahead.
Am I allowed to do this?
Well,
is this in O'Reilly's Irish Pose?
I mean, I think you will just be careful. All right, we don't have to tamper. It's only hour 1.
No tampering.
Okay.
There will be no tampering done in this video. If I have my way, every single Illini that could come back comes back. Mm-hmm. Do I think that's going to happen? No, but that's what I would do. I want to do a pulse check emotionally with a couple guys here. Kylin Boswell.
Yeah.
Worst game of his season. Stinker in the biggest stage. In the locker room, very emotional, crying after. You probably saw the clip about how, Arizona fans and what he felt he went through. It was such a breath of fresh air as a human being to get to Champaign. And I guess I don't know what the question is here, Card. I don't want to ask you, did you not like that? But sort of for that to be the note that Kylin Boswell goes out on, how do we feel about that?
I mean, I feel like you feel from him a little bit, right? I think that, Kylin Boswell, like you said, he spoke about it after the game a little bit. The stuff he went through when he left Arizona and, the comments that came from that fan base, it did have an effect on him. And he's a player who I thought found himself in his 2 years being the Champaign kid. And I think it's one that's going to stick with him, unfortunately, right? He's going to think about that last performance. He's going to think that he could have done something to help his team get across the finish line. And unfortunately, in the biggest moment, he just had a stinker, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's senior leader. His presence will be missed in the locker room for sure. I know the last 3 games didn't go the way he wanted to, but that's just kind of what I'm glad he had the raw emotion after the game to really show a peek behind the curtain what he's been battling internally for his college career. And I think it's the right stage for him to say it. Look, he just lost an emotional Final Four game. He's been through a lot as a person, not even a player. And when you just kind of snowball that in with the game he had, the performance he had, it's easy to see his perspective where he's coming from.
Had to be weird for him too, because at the time he's giving that quote, Arizona is in warm-ups, about to maybe make the national championship.
Well, they joined him in 40 minutes.
They did. It was a strange moment. All I want to say on Kylin is this: with that moment, I have a big appreciation for him on this team and this program that has become Europe's team, right? The world's team. You've got Illinois fans sort of rocking these Balkan sweatsuits as like that's our rallying cry. And I'm not saying that's bad. More power to you. This was a hometown kid who ultimately brought this program to a Final Four for the first time in 20 years. Am I sad for him that he played the way he played in this game? Absolutely. But I hope he can take some solace in that simple fact that he should be revered as a hometown hero. And in that moment of, if you want to call it weakness or emotion, whatever you want to call it, to me, that's transparency. We did a podcast with Braden Smith this year, and he went through that with his own fan base. Yeah. Like, this is being a college basketball starter star in 2026, whether you're at a school you love or whether you leave, you just are subjected to so much bullshit, to be honest about it. And in some ways, it's why I actually like the portal era. So I think we're seeing guys like even Michigan's guys, Kadau and Mara, who are just happier people that needed a fresh start. To me, that's what Kylin got at home at Illinois, and I feel for him, but I hope he can take that as his legacy.
Honestly, I hope they all can. I know we're going to get into a few individual players, but I think this Illinois run is something that they all should remember, Brad included. Unfortunately, in this game, sometimes, and we experienced this at the pickup runs yesterday.
Thank you. Hey, by the way, shout out to Joel O'Reilly's. He's just putting on for us. Yeah, just being brought free drinks. You got to love that. All right, I want to move down the line of Illinois.
I was going to say, and I think all of us kind of like can agree to this. Sometimes you just don't have it. And I feel like, Dan Hurley coached a phenomenal game, but Illinois just didn't have it yesterday. That's all.
So down the list here for me, David Mirkovic. We've alluded to this for months. If you just bring him back, I don't care who else is there. I don't care what new pieces you're getting. If you bring back David Mirkovic, he might be the Big Ten Player of the Year on paper. He should be projected as an All-American. He's a stud. With that said, this is not how I expected his season to end.
Yeah.
And as emotional as Kylin was in the locker room, I think David felt the ownership of this loss from someone who expected to lead his team to a national championship. So I have my thought on how he is going to process this and what comes next. Knowing Merck the way you have covered Merck this year, how do you think he's going to handle this type of individual stinker at this stage?
You could maybe call this O'Reilly's glass half full here, but I think it's going to motivate the kid. Honestly, I'm scared. Like, obviously, this is not the way you want your season to end, but year 2 Merck with a chip on his shoulder is a very, very scary sight. And I think it's going to motivate him. I think the kid is mentally made up different. He doesn't get the credit for it that he deserves. He is a freshman. I feel like people forget that all the time. He is still fresh in his basketball journey. And getting him back, I think, is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And then you give him this chip on the shoulder. Like, I'd be ecstatic for year 2, Merck. And to your point, you do whatever. If he doesn't want a player there, they're gone. Yeah. If he doesn't want to coach there, they're gone.
Okay.
If he wants to rename Murphy's Merkovic,
no,
you rename it.
I'm not renaming my daughter, so that can't happen.
If you got year 2 Merck in the balance, you wouldn't rename your daughter?
Murphy will not be changed to Murky.
I haven't seen a Final Four. I've seen it one time in 10 years. I will change Leon's name to David Mirkovic if it gets me back here.
No, you won't.
Shut up.
First of all, you don't even get to claim Merk love like that. No, I totally agree. He's a guy that will take this and use it as fuel, though. And I think you think about what Illinois' program has become, how impressive their weight team is, the training, Fletcher, what he's done with some of these guys physically. To me, you lock Merck in Champaign for a summer
Mhm.
with this loss to sit on.
Yeah.
If there's one player in America I trust to come back as a monster, it's him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's one of my favorite players to watch in the Big Ten. Obviously, I'm an ACC guy at heart, but Big Ten, with working with sleepers this year, I watched a lot of Big Ten, and I think he saw the comfortability that he showed, especially the first round game where he went off. Year 2 for him, the more comfortability and more with Brad Underwood, they definitely have a good chemistry to where you bring him back, then I like his potential a lot for year 2 at Illinois.
I also think it not just Merkovich, but this Illinois team as a whole. I don't want to like create this narrative, but I bet you they have some regrets about the way they handled the last week. I bet you they have a little regrets about the way they handled the last week. Wish they could do a couple things differently. And if you bring Merck back with that chip on his shoulder from losing, but also like if I get to this moment, I'm gonna handle it differently. I think that's a dangerous person.
Can I throw one more thing in there?
Please.
Shout out to the chat, by the way. I do have the chat pulled up. I see everybody in here. We are going to be here until 7. So if you can't pull up on us,
good views right now, chat.
Yeah.
Good views.
Love the energy in there. Shout out to Reed. I forgot this. Murph got to Illinois really late last summer.
He did.
Now he's got a full summer Champaign, full summer of Fletch. I think that could also be a factor in this.
100%. Yeah, I'm excited for it. He did have a comment that was essentially, I never know my future, but I love to be at Illinois. So I think that means he's back. I would assume he's just back. Can we play a quick GM game?
Okay.
I'm going to ask everybody at the table, give me thumbs up, thumbs down to the camera. I name a player. You're Brad Underwood. Do you want him back? Do you not want him back? Here goes nothing. David Merkovich. Tommy Visich. Zanimir Visich. Okay, I want to unpack that in a minute. Andrei Stojakovic. You say no, we all say yes. I'll let you speak on the why.
I think Andre clogs the offense a little too much. I think Andre, if he's willing to accept a lesser role, and not crazy lesser, but like if he's willing to take a little bit of a back seat, I think Andre's great. But could I change it to like in the middle? I would kind of want to see how the offseason plays out. If you have another Katon Waggler, I don't think you want Andre. But if Andre is assuming a little bit of the key role offensively, I do think you want.
So this is with the Quentin Coleman commitment in tow, right? Because this program is like adding new pieces by the day.
Yeah.
If you like Murillo and you like Coleman, I think Andre really works in between them. You have a proven guy that could be an 18-point-a-game scorer if needed. And if one of those two becomes as good as Keaton, you can do it. Look, people know this. I was so anti-Andre for 4 months. The maturity, the unselfishness that he showed in this tournament run and the impact he had, to me, you pay him. And his camp might come in with a crazy number. That's the problem. But to me, this program, which learned a lot, remember, they preached retention in the offseason. You preached retention for the first time in 7 years. And by the way, we clowned it. It was like 40% retention. They acted like they returned everybody. They returned like 4 guys, and they were like, this is unprecedented. And you immediately go to a Final Four? Like, you should learn that lesson and double and triple down on it. To me, if they bring Andre back, that's a good sign that it's in the right spot.
I think they got to free Petrovic.
He's gone.
I saw Petro warm up. There's something there with Petro.
Or he might stay for free, to be honest. Just to like
I think he loves champagne.
JK. Love that table.
What's going on? Yeah, fellas, get the table. Get the table. Sorry, we are aligning. We're jumping in. Thank you guys. Good luck Monday.
Good luck tomorrow.
Good luck. So
So
we've been scoping out a table all afternoon, and we met a lovely UConn family that I was congratulating them on Terrence Reed's dominance. But we now have a table, so if you want to come see us between now and 7 p.m., we've got some seats for you. Come pull up and watch the show with us. That would be amazing.
Jay Hart had one job. It was to get the table. Jay Hart's sitting over here.
I think Jay Hart's on Touch Tunes right now. That's typical. He is working for Cart.
If he is, he's going up. There's some really great tunes going on right now. There's some really great tunes.
Quickly, we all said no to Big Z returning. Let's acknowledge that there are some interesting dynamics, to say the least, with that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the brother of a player we all just said yes to returning. I will tell you guys this, and I don't know that this is news. I'm not breaking that I believe this or not. somebody that I trust on the Illinois media side, I spoke to in the stadium last night and dropped a little nugget that he believes Zanimir is going to enter the NBA draft. And that it's not even a conversation.
As a player?
That's my reaction. I said, what draft?
That was Zanimir, not Tommy?
Is there a military draft I don't know about in Croatia? But I think you get the point, right? Maybe Illinois ducks out of an awkward conversation. If we all voted down, how do you see that transpiring?
I don't know. I just think that you can get a backup level center that maybe you also want to keep in the program, maybe develop a big man in the program. I just think that, Zanimir also probably wants to start and play a lot if you're him. He also probably could secure a pretty big paycheck. I mean, if I'm Zanimir, yes, I love the play style. Yes, I love being with my brother. I am also very much online. Sonata Fru's getting $3 million in today's economy. He can go out there and secure that number, to be honest with you. So maybe it's a mutual handshake. Zanimir, go get your bag, kiss your brother on the cheek. We'll see you when we can see you. Maybe we'll schedule the non-con. But just go ahead and I think go to maybe greener pastures, more money, more opportunity.
Yeah, I don't have much other to say except for, when you're 7'2" and you want to enter the portal, if you're 6'10 plus, you're getting $2.5 million flat rate, and the guy that 6 points a game, but he's 7'2", he's gonna get more than that. You said the Fru number, which is crazy, but somebody's gonna pay it. So if I'm him, like, hey, I want to see who really wants me, and I wouldn't blame him.
I want to know who advised him to enter the NBA draft. They need to be fired.
Yeah. The one thing I would say, I think this may be the most complicated player navigation that the Underwood staff has had to do. Because let's be clear, if Z wants to come back and you say no, do you lose T? Do you, this is a really weird, touchy thing to do.
Weird, but also to your point, great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. I think healthy programs go through this at times, but it is an obstacle that needs to be, I think, talked about.
If they both wanted to come back, I think I would just bring them both back. I think the best thing they could do for the basketball product would be to let Z go and go get a player in a different archetype. Respectfully, you don't need two of Visiches. I think we learned that this year. Yeah. Big T is clearly valuable. You need a monster. And that leads me to ask you one question. You looked me dead in the eyes and said this in the middle of Michigan, Arizona last night. If Merez Johnson was on Illinois instead of Zanimir Visich, is this team in the national championship game?
Yes. Yes, I believe that. And honestly, given how they played this tournament run with Merez, they might be the favorite, or at least behind Michigan.
Now, I don't think that was a realistic scenario, but it's hard not to have that conversation as these teams play the season out.
I think you could replace Mirkovic with Merez, and I also think there's a national title. I think Merez is, at least right now.
I don't know. I disagree with that. They did both.
Merck has been amazing. This was a Merck stinker.
It was a bad
in a big moment. Merez would not have given you that.
Yeah, Merez would have showed up. And I'm not trying to be rude to Merck. I'm just speaking truth.
Merez just has some bags in the tournament.
But Merez,
not 6 and 5.
Yeah, and he also, not to be that guy, and you're gonna have long off season ahead of you. Merez doesn't have to be as good as Merck has to be. If you put that pressure on Merez, I think he would show up.
Yeah. Fair.
Merez doesn't show up in Yak, so
you didn't have to choose though. You could have had both.
Fellas, I'm doing the thing where I keep saying last thing and then I come up with like 6 more things. But last personnel thing. Little bug in the ear. Katon Waggler. Sources are sourcing that no decision has been formally made.
Now, my sources are saying that decision's been made. He's entered the NBA draft.
Let him have like a week off and just then he can.
All right, let's all go across the table and make up a scenario that's not true.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I didn't get arrested last year.
I'm in shape.
I look better with no beard. That's well played. I was going to say something about Caden Boozer's pass, but I can't do that right now because I'm still triggered by that.
He's gone.
Deion's a good basketball player.
He's gone, put his jersey in the rafters. He meets the All-American criteria. Great year. One of the best Underwood era players of all time. Go ahead and move on.
Yep. Okay, one of the best Underwood players of all time. Where is he in the Pantheon? Because he got him to a Final Four.
He's the best in my opinion.
He's the best Underwood player ever.
In my opinion, yes.
Ahead of Ayo?
Yes.
Ahead of Terrence Shannon?
Yes.
Ahead of Kofi?
Yes.
Where's he at in the Illinois all-time Mount Rushmore then? Because they showed D and Darren on screen in the middle of this game.
Probably third. I think I'll go Darren, D, and then Keaton.
You got the Flying Illini too. You don't know who those guys are.
I got Bardo fourth.
Yeah, very nice.
Miss you, Bardo. Come back to the States.
All right. Well, if that was it for Katon Waggler, what a season it was. Maybe no player in the NIL era that has ever been more of a value at what you thought you were getting to what he became.
Yeah.
Again, I want to genuinely shout out the Illinois insiders who we constantly react to their content because in July they were writing stories about how this guy was going to be something special and we were making fun of it at the time. So great reporting, great work from those people, especially the Illini Inquirer guys who did an amazing job with it. But I'll remember Keaton very fondly. Again, a stinker from 3 when they needed it most, but what a season it was. And lastly, they seem pretty happy to be there.
They were happy to be there.
They deserve to be. They deserve to be happy to be there.
You hating on people being happy to be there is not fair.
I agree.
They should be happy to be there.
I think that's what they're going to regret. They celebrated the last week while UConn prepared.
You can't listen. Final Four is Final Four. Like
they had a 75% home crowd advantage.
Man.
Yeah,
but that was an Illinois home.
That doesn't have anything to do with them being happy to be there. I just think they played bad.
I feel like their effort was there the whole time. They just didn't execute what they've done all year.
But execution is preparation. They didn't prepare.
If they weren't happy to be there, do they win that basketball game?
Yeah.
See, I say no.
I just feel like it wasn't. They're not. They just missed bunnies.
I don't know. I just know this. If I'm an Illinois fan watching that play out in a game that was so there for the taking, and my team plays like shit, my reaction is, this is fun. And I'm doing the thing where I take how fans feel and apply it to the team. I understand that.
I think you're right though in saying it. Like the game was there for the taking. Everything about that is true. I just don't correlate.
I mean the aura in the building. That wasn't. It should have been an Illinois.
They left a massive opportunity out there.
It should have been an animosity-filled. You're walking into a death trap. We have Lucas Oil Stadium filled with orange, and that's it. And then after we win this game, we are rooting for whoever we want in the next game to get the matchup. And instead, from the start, it was just a very can you believe it? Whoa! Like the game is playing out before. Oh my God, we're down 10.
And to your point, I don't know if you guys saw this video, but the video of the Illinois fans leaving and the UConn fans heckling them as they walked out. This city is 80% Illinois. Like it's not just the building. I mean, J-Man and I were at Tom's Watch Bar, and we couldn't move because it was all Illinois fans.
Yeah.
Like they should have taken that game over, and instead UConn fans left. I feel like stealing the show.
But this is where I push back on the happy to be there thing. It's like, yeah, they did not start well, and yeah, it was a sloppy game. But when crunch time happened, Illinois showed up and made plays to cut it to a 4-point game. Like when they got down 12 to 14 points in the second half, it looked like UConn's going to run with it, and Illinois was like, "Nah, we're coming right back." They got it to 4 a couple of times, and they just didn't make enough winning plays in the last 4 minutes. But with 2 minutes to go, it was a 4-point game. So I don't think they were happy to be here. You can say that now that they lost. Yeah, happy to be there. You got to the Final Four, but I don't think that was the end goal. It's like, you know what? We made the Final Four. We're going to roll over.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And she took the words right out of my mouth. So that is what I think about the Illinois thing. You're happy to be there now that you lost, but you were in the game till the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
But they weren't in the game till the last 2 minutes, though. They caught back up.
It was a 4-point game, Dion.
They caught back up.
The players have to give the fans something to get up for too.
Yeah.
I mean, we were sitting with Coy, who I love as a brother at this point, and we got a bunch of Illinois fans. There was just a genuine wow, I can't believe we're here. And I think the thing was they were the better team.
Yeah.
And this was a home game, and they no-showed. I would have loved the reaction to be like, yeah, we should have won this game. And instead it was I can't believe we got to play.
I think you can break it down to moments. So you look at the box score and Big T was 2 for 7, right? If he makes one more, you're like, 3 for 8. Not the worst thing in the world, right? But it felt
When's the last time Tommy made 3 threes?
Yeah, but here's what it is for me. I remember distinctly though
Hold on.
the misses that he had. I'm not saying you're waiting for Mace, but I'm saying
no, I know
the misses that he had just felt like they were in massive moments, wide open threes. he would miss it, and then they go in on the other end, and Jaden Ross and Jalen Stewart or Terrence Reed are making layups, and it's just like it sucked the energy out of the place.
And here's the thing too, like winning, like for UConn, Caravan was 2 for 10 against Duke, and it was 1 of 8 against Illinois. If UConn loses either of those games, then we're talking about Caravan not showing up in the biggest moments. But it gets hidden because UConn won. So just because Illinois' guys didn't step up and weren't as effective as they've been all year, doesn't mean they weren't ready for the moment. Because Caravan's been, Dan Hurley loves Caravan, but him being 2 for 10 and 1 for 8 in the 2 wins, he's getting bailed out by Terrence Reed and others.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Either way, amazing season for Illinois. The biggest dynasty that I've seen in my life in college basketball, UConn, rolls on. And we'll talk about that preview later in just a couple hours. For now, Dion J. Man, we're going to let you guys go get a drink, go hang out for a little bit. I think in just a moment, we're going to get Matt and Ian up here, and we're going to get into our Michigan-Arizona recap next. So
cheers, you don't have another last thing?
No more last things. No more last things.
Can I talk to the chat, though?
You can talk. Yeah, why don't we intermission, Dion to the chat.
Perfect. I want to talk to the chat for 10 seconds. To everyone saying I need a booster seat to be here, I've met a lot of you the last month. None of you tower over me. I've not met anybody that towers over me. We're all the same size. We all need a booster seat.
Really
love everybody though.
Go to break for a second, but if not, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to do it, but that's fine.
Yeah, like a low transition period,
yeah.
But it's
all right. Let's get Ian and Matt in. Welcome, boys.
Welcome.
By the way, have you already finished your first drink?
Yeah.
That's on me. I was going to say finish our drink before the second recap. Quickly, before we go to the Michigan-Arizona game, I'd like to introduce Ian here, who is technically new. Anyone who watches us religiously is probably like, who is this guy? But little backstory, Ian is one of our close friends that has helped Carter and I through all of our Bleacher Report activities in the last couple of years. So anytime you've seen us at the NBA Draft Show or at COSM in LA, this has been the main man hooking us up and making sure we get those opportunities. So been great to have you on board. Hopefully we get to do some more stuff. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, like Greg said, my name's Ian. I'm an associate producer at BR, Bleacher Report. And again, they made me look good. I pitch ideas, I pitch talent, and every time we do numbers, granted, they get most of the praise, but I'm doing everything behind the scenes, graphics, B-roll, all that type of stuff. So we've kind of fostered a relationship throughout these last couple of years. And again, it's been an honor, been a pleasure, and honestly, I'm excited to see what we as a collective, honestly, both in and outside of Sleepers and Bleacher do. It's been awesome.
You also technically report to Deebo Samuel.
All right, hold on.
I also thought you were white.
For those of you who don't know, I produce Deebo Samuel's podcast.
Crazy drop.
All right. Still a free agent, by the way. I'm a Deebo hater at this point. So, all right.
Crazy drop.
No comment.
I did report to Deebo for about 4 months during the NFL season. But it was a journey. It was a lot. I did somehow get a signed autograph card. Nobody knew that. I got a signed autograph Deebo Samuel card out of it. So, a little silver lining here and there, but I will never do that shit again.
Talking like a new portal entrant right now. He's like, well, I learned a lot, and I'm ready for what's next. Meanwhile, Matt Maderno is here. My biggest winner of the week thus far. Matt, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Hearing that, I got to live up to expectations at this point. So I don't have a heater like Ian does out on the court, but I'll try and see what I can do for you here.
You gave me a very tough bucket, one-on-one.
That one. That's okay. That's my one bucket, but I'll take it.
You go. Okay, you were at the top of the rankings, but I want to let it be known, I think you gained some more space. We are currently at a Sleepers live show, and you are the only person on the team that has Sleepers gear on.
Got to get your Sleepers merch, everybody. Go out and get it. Look how nice it is. It makes me look
Special
good.
Company man. Special
I
company
had to
man.
beg Cart to do that 2 years in.
And Matt did it on his first trip without being asked.
I saw Carter set the example yesterday, so I just followed it. That's all.
Very nice.
Just a follow.
By the way, shout Tristan Freeman's here. We got Melba here from the Discord, one of the biggest legends that we have ever had in our community. So I think we're going to make our rounds. Once we get through this Michigan-Arizona recap, we'll come say hello to everybody, and we'll keep the shorts going until 7. But let's transition to Michigan's dominant performance. Gentlemen, I don't know where to start on this one. There was a lot of, extra things going on. Yaxel Lendeberg's injury hung over the entire first half. There was foul trouble with Jaden Bradley. and the entire Michigan front court. At the same time, I've never seen a Final Four game look like that in person in the 5 years I've done this, and certainly not one that was built to be as good of a game as Michigan-Arizona was supposed to be. Matt, what the hell happened?
I think it's all of our collective fault, media in general. We hyped this game up. There was no way it could live up to expectations. But I didn't think it would be that bad. This is like a stupid take probably, but I think Roddy Gale happened. That dunk on Privas took their soul, man. Like, he killed a big, like, early Arizona run. Only had 9 points, but, like, that set the tone. Like, when the role players from Michigan are just going to, like, pound on you, that's tough. That's tough to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that, Arizona, obviously nothing to take away from their season, right?
Sure.
They win the Big 12, they make a Final Four, they win the conference tournament, but they ran into some demons, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they ran into some demons also who didn't even necessarily play their best ball. Yakel Lendenborg played 12 minutes. Elliot Kadau was 4 for 17. And that game was never in doubt. They jumped on him right away. Adai Mara is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Elliot Kadau is confident and ridiculous. Roddy Gale had moments. Trey McKenna, hello, ninth man.
They're 22-0 when Trey McKenna hits multiple threes in a game. Get this man going and you win. It's that simple.
It's just a very, very tough time to play a team like that in Michigan, because I said this to you during the game. Michigan has like 19 different punches they can beat.
Oh, a little moonlighting here, too.
I think Arizona tried to throw their punch, and then they also maybe threw one counter punch, and nothing worked. Braden Burns was in hell. Tobe Awaka all of a sudden couldn't make 2-point shots. Privas couldn't make 2 points. The middies weren't falling. The Big 12 player of the year was in foul trouble. I didn't see him till the second half. It was just, Ian, is it just Michigan is that much better than Arizona, even though Arizona's really good?
Cat Williams once said a Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until a real Phantom shows up. And that's what it kind of looked like to me. I mean, again, everyone doing the intangibles. Roddy Gale had a game. If you're a box score, Warrior watcher, you're going to see, Roddy Gale only had 9. But what he was doing on both ends of the floor, Arizona had no answers for. Booming on Privas was feat in and of itself.
Yeah.
I do think, don't get me wrong, Arizona had an outstanding year. Tommy Lloyd had an outstanding year. I do think the extension curse, quote unquote,
it strikes again.
Every time.
It strikes again.
Every time.
Don't get me wrong. I do think Tommy Lloyd's an outstanding coach. I think he just ran up into a juggernaut that, again, and when you look at the box score and look at how many minutes Yakel played, and we can get into that later, they kind of did it without Yakel. That's the scary part. If you're looking at UConn, okay, they didn't have that much with Yakel. What do you do in that instance? But I think Arizona also, Braden Berry, looking at how he played, he could have been a little better. Cole, if he'd had an outstanding game, doubles up across the board. Braden Berry's had his worst game, if you look at it, since that Iowa State game really had 3 points. Mm. That's both credit to Michigan's defense, but also he kind of looked shook at times. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but Cardi, answer your question. Michigan just looked outstanding for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I fan for a second?
Before you fan, can I do one more thing?
Yes.
What do you do? Okay, I guess it's in transition. What do you do when you have a team as physically as imposing as that team is, and you guys make threes like that? What actually is the formula?
Right.
I don't think they lose a game if they shoot 44% from 3.
Just go ahead and chalk it up.
I don't think anybody beats them. I think they're that good, but they don't always do that. But when they do, and you saw look, I think you can't over-assign that this matters, but Dusty's can I swear? It's our show, right?
I think so.
Dusty May's a fucking demon.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
I thought we were going with another cuss word there.
Guys, Dusty May put a portable hoop in the big house. And then his team shot 44% from 3. Dusty May.
They didn't even start out that well though from 3. They they worked their way into it.
The game went on. Dusty May sat and disrespectfully watched the first game as if he knew this was going to happen.
Locking down 5-star recruits during,
elite aura farmer.
Guys,
elite aura farmer.
He doesn't care about the potential of what if this goes wrong. He just doesn't. He operates in a way of I know it's going to happen, and it's confident. Could you call it cocky? Maybe. But everyone on this team just has taken on such a confident version of themselves. Adai Mara was a broken player when he got to Michigan. And he looks like one of the most dynamic unicorn bigs I've ever seen. Yeah. Elliot Kadau was he was in shambles when he left North Carolina. and he dominated this game on a night where he was 5 for 17 with 6 turnovers.
Yeah,
and I thought he was the best player in the first half.
Yeah. Him and Mara. Yeah.
Guys, this is where I want to fan on this, and I'm trying really hard to analyze. But also, like, if this team were 1 win away in this fashion from, like, the biggest margin in NCAA tournament ever, like, at a certain point, the actual analysis of this merges with my fandom. Like, I don't think I'm being biased when I say what this tournament run is. It's been insane. And in this one, this is where the fan stuff comes in, and it's emotional for me. That was the gutsiest performance from a Michigan team I've watched in 32 years. And because it was, you know, a coast-to-coast, we're up 16 and a half, we're up 30 in the second half, it's not going to be remembered as if it was a challenge. Let me be extremely clear about the way that first half went. Yakel Lendeberg picked up 2 fouls on 1 possession 90 seconds into the game.
Right. Yeah.
Like, Arizona had an opportunity to get Michigan without the single most important part of the team, and they were down 10-1 before you could blink.
Yeah.
And, like, then you follow that up. Yakel gets hurt when he returns to the game. It looks like it's season ending. What is that going to do to a team emotionally? Arizona cut it to 5, and you're thinking Yakel's gone. Like, I had the thought in my head, okay, how, like, the season just ended. And instead, guys like Roddy and guys like Mara and Kadau just rose to the occasion, and I'm so impressed by it. I think, you know, I've made the joke to you since November. Trey McKenna is the 9th guy on this team. He's a pro. He is a McDonald's All-American. And now he's the 6th guy on this team. But, like, LJ Kason is missing. We haven't even felt that absence because of how good Roddy and Trey are. In this game, as crazy as it sounds, they didn't feel Yakel's absence. And I don't know that there is a team in NCAA history that could lose a player as good as Yakel Lendeberg and still do what they did in this game.
He could be the MVP of this tournament, and they really didn't even need him to beat the other best team in the country. Like that's
you're going through it, Carl.
I mean,
it's really starting to set in that this is actually the worst year of my life, I am so happy for you. Good Lord, man.
Listen, we're gonna do the preview. Dan Hurley being the final boss in this insane special season. It's fitting. It's perfect.
If there's anybody who can go demon for demon with Dusty May and this basketball
1,000,000%.
It's Dan Hurley.
Yeah, I am not overlooking UConn whatsoever, but I am looking back at this specific game because what's lost in this, Arizona's an all-time good team.
Yeah.
Like, let me ask the whole panel on this. Does the way last night went down change your feelings about Arizona being historically one of the better teams we've seen in like 20 years?
No. We've seen Michigan do this to so many other teams this year already where they just beat their ass. I mean, like, this team is that good. I don't think it's an indictment on Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier at the Hammer House, how Ryan Hammer, we were ranking team seasons out of 10. I gave Arizona a 9 with the quickness. It was an unbelievable season. They had 2 banners. They made a Final Four.
Yeah.
Tommy Lloyd is one of the hotter names in the country. Oh my God, Touch Tunes were here.
Drizzy is on Touch Tunes right now.
Yes, it ended on a sour note, but you cannot take away 2 banners. You cannot take away everything that program is. And also, you told Riley Davis and Jacob to take a hike. This is my coach, and he doesn't have to answer to the AD, so it's all good.
I mean, like, yeah, you got Belt in the Final Four. Like, I mean, again, we talked about it before. Michigan's a juggernaut, right? But, again, Arizona had an outstanding year. Yeah, you shot pretty terribly. It is what it is. But, again, like, Arizona has had history before in the tournament of disappointing early. So when you get to the Final Four, that's solid. That's solid compared to what has happened. Like, everyone remembers the DeAndre Ayton teams disappointing early in tournaments, right? You get this far, that's a W season. Like, yeah, obviously you want a championship aspirations, but it doesn't change my opinion on Arizona or Tommy Lloyd. It's just you ran up into one of the best, obviously one of the best teams in the nation who is extremely deep on every facet of the game.
Yeah, I'm struggling with it because we did a little video with Ryan Hammer, who just walked in the building, by the way. Come see the Blue Blooded Pod guys. Hammer's entire crew is here. Special. They're the biggest winners of the weekend to me, if you ask me. But he asked us, what would you grade Arizona season 1 to 10? And I struggled with it. And I said, you know what? I think it's a 10. And you put an asterisk on it. Like, obviously, this is how you want it to end. But they went 36-3. They ran away with a Big 12 title in a pretty loaded Big 12 season. They win the Big 12 tournament championship and just solidify what they are. And then you get to this moment, should it have gone differently? Yeah. I think the hard part for me, if I'm an Arizona fan, I don't know how you get over the fact that you got the Yakel injury in this game.
Yeah.
Like, if you just lose to full-strength Michigan this way, it's like, gosh, they're special.
Yeah.
This isn't Michigan. This was Michigan without Yakel.
Well, good call to you, though. Arizona's kind of an analytical nightmare, man. It's a lot of mid-range, and it's a lot of at the rim against one of the most physically imposing front courts in the country.
I will say this. Did I expect Tommy Lloyd to change everything that they do?
No.
No, of course not. But I think to be unaware that what you do is going to be a really bad matchup against Michigan.
There was no plan B there
and have no plan B. It was still let's run, and we'll take tough twos, and our bigs just need to outplay them. And literally, I talked about it in the preview card. It was what Gonzaga did. And Tommy Lloyd has been blunt about it. I'm going to run what I ran at Gonzaga. I'm still running it. I'm going to keep running it. You watched Gonzaga, who is not Arizona, lose to Michigan by 40 at Players Center.
Right.
It was not the right way to play this team. And I think the hard part, Arizona can shoot from three. They can shoot from three. What they shoot in this game, 35%.
Right.
Like, they late in the game, they were shooting 40% from three, down 30.
Yeah.
Right.
How many attempts, though? What, 17?
But that's
a lot of those in garbage time. You and I are already making post-game plans about how we're going to get the pizza from the media room at that point. But, yeah, it's a really tough way to be Michigan. And credit to you, too. You talked about this. Playing fast against Michigan is not going to
It's a death trap.
It's a death trap. I don't even know who the most successful team at doing that this year
Wisconsin.
is.
You have to either make 16 threes or play slow.
Yeah.
Only taking 16
which
it's not going to do it.
Let's get ahead of ourselves. UConn can do both of those.
That's true. UConn can play slow.
Very true.
So it's a scary matchup. All right, I want to go through some individual performances. I want to start with Kadau. 13 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds. He was on pace for a triple-double at halftime, and then he stopped rebounding. Finished with 6 turnovers. Look, he was 5 for 17 from the floor. That's the thing. That is not good. But I would argue that's probably the best game a 5 for 17 from the floor guy has ever had in NCAA history. Yeah. I thought he completely controlled the first half.
Look, he did his job and more. I mean, again, we'll talk about Arizona later, but you could visibly see Jaden Bradley get increasingly more frustrated after every possession, drawing charges, making sure that he was out of his game. He made the Big 12 Player of the Year. It's a little bit of an asterisk in my opinion, but he made him look very, very average. Granted, he was the only one on Arizona's team that actually had a positive plus minus, which is 1. But either way, made him look very, very normal. Elliot Kadau did the intangibles and more in this game. Unreal performance.
It's just crazy because this is a guy like hand up accountability time. I did not think that was a great pickup. I know some other people on here.
Me either, man. Guys, when they got both Kadau and Mara, you can go back and watch the commitment videos. I killed the ads and said I don't understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah. He dictated last night, like absolutely dictated. He set the tone. Ian nailed it with the fouls on Jaden Bradley. They had no plan B whatsoever without Bradley. The rest of the team couldn't dribble across half court. I mean, it was a bad matchup roster-wise, but Kadau's ability to dictate pace, I mean, that's just special. It's absolutely special.
Yeah, and another thing I'm starting to notice, and actually I want to run this by you guys too, a lot of big games this year when Elliot Kadau is playing other good point guards, I saw Elliot Kadau walk to the Breslin Center and walk my point guard down the last 4 minutes. He just showed up.
He did that to Braden at Mackey.
He just showed up in the Final Four and looked a Big 12 player in his eyes, and he outplayed him in a game he shot 5 for 17. That's nuts. It shows you how far confidence can go. That's what all Dusty's doing. I'm not even trying to say he's doing an easy job. He's literally just saying, Elliot, go do you. I believe in you. And Elliot's like, all right, coach, I'm gonna go do that. And whatever the results are gonna be, he knows he feels good about it. I mean, I think it's a lot of things are said about the transfer portal being a nasty place and things like that. Sometimes you have a new opportunity to go find a coach that believes you can do something. It's really all that you needed in this game.
Well, and I say this cautiously because I'm on record with this. If I'm North Carolina, if I'm an NBA job, if I'm Duke, Kansas, whenever they open, my first call is Dusty May. Yeah. I don't think there is a better coach for this era than him with how he has turned an 8-win program.
Hard to argue with the result.
With administrative issues into this team that can pick whoever they want from the portal, and is signing McDonald's All-Americans at halftime of a Final Four blowout win. Like, it's just, this is the highest I've ever seen this program operate, and it's entirely Dusty May. This is not, respectfully, this is not Michigan basketball. This is Dusty May basketball. Yeah. What we have seen this year. And, you know, I think people have obviously had to come to terms with that and maybe not liking it. Oh, he pissed people off. He went after guys that were at unhappy situations. Whatever. What you can't deny is this. Everything these guys say has happened to their games is true. They say it's confidence. Right? They say it's a coaching staff that lets them play through mistakes. And I think you look at the situations of the biggest pieces on this team. Mick Cronin should be imprisoned for not finding a way to use Adai Mara before now.
I'm so mad.
It's crazy.
I'm so mad at Mick. Really. First of all, you're mean to my media folks. How dare you? I stand with my brothers. And second of all, you're telling me you couldn't find anything for him? Anything. Not one single thing. And then you signed up for Xavier Booker. That's what would have been different about it. Mick Cronin will have to answer for his sins one day. He's ruining my life.
Well, even like, let's just go through the thought exercise of this. Cronin whining about like, oh, he's gone. He was supposed to be mine. Right. If Adai Mara was at UCLA, it would have looked exactly like the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Because Mick Cronin scapegoated him and did not adjust to what he does well. So, and that's the same thing that happened to Kadau at North Carolina. I think to an extent, Brad Underwood just made a Final Four. He's a phenomenal coach. I love him.
Yes.
And yet all the things Merez said were true. They didn't want to let him do the things this offense did. And Merez gets to be on the ball. It's just, Dusty May is a man of his word. To all these guys, he's a man of his word.
Can I say one more thing about Dusty? Please. Because I think all the words are true that you're saying. And now, honestly, it's a little bit fitting. We thought that maybe it was Illinois was going to get past them. Maybe Arizona would beat them. He right now has the chance to solidify himself as the best coach in the sport. And to do that, he has to beat the best coach in the sport.
Yeah.
Legit. Like, he goes through all the – honestly, it's a little bit poetic. If people are looking for storyline type stuff, Dusty May is doing everything right. But there's still that one, the big bad wolf, Dan Hurley. He's won back-to-back national titles. He could be on the verge of 3 national titles in 4 years. That is literally stuff we don't hear about. That's Mount Rushmore level college basketball coaching type stuff. And Dusty May has the chance to beat that dude. So, I mean, it's going to be a great storyline for that game. I know we're not talking about it, but
there's arguments. It's like the best team we've seen in years versus the best coach there is.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to win? We'll see. We'll get to that preview. That's coming later.
But in a belt to ass situation like this game, it's like, you know, we dip into the preview right away. Because, I mean, do we want to talk about more how Arizona couldn't do anything?
Well, like, he exploits weaknesses so well. I mean, we haven't even talked about how Del Orso played in that game. Talk about running a
lot of
minus 20.
A lot of Del Orso. A lot of Del Orso.
Talk about running your shooters off the line, knowing how to turn another team's strengths into something that, okay, now you have to go into your plan B, plan C, plan whatever, because your plan A is not going to work against a team that knows how to exploit every position on the court. Again, I talked Braden Burries earlier. He was in hell. Owaka was in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, respectfully, they have had great seasons up to respectfully that point because, again, okay, you don't have Mara as your assignment. Now you got to go up against Merez. You got that 1A, 1B, accent, just whatever you want to call it. Dusty May knows, okay, like, if he's not great in lateral movement, we're going to put you on a fast break. Mara can run the floor. He did it efficiently. He's done it efficiently all year running the break. And we saw in that game, too. That's why Dusty is as good as he is. And like you said, it's a fitting ending because they both, Hurley and May, find ways to adapt not only on the fly, but also obviously are so strategic with their timeout. I can't wait to see it.
All right, I want to that one, Greg, real quick. This
go
last
ahead.
thing. So he can do that for 2 reasons. They've got the roster to do, and they can play any way you need to play because they're too deep at every position. They can go big, they can go small, they can push, they shoot it well enough, they can beat you on the boards. Like, he has the personnel and the chess pieces in place to counter any style. So they did their work in the portal. They nailed their roster build. So I'm totally co-signing everything you said, but like, just special work from him in the offseason before we even got here. And now he diagnoses the right way to put those pieces in the best place to be successful.
I want to close the Dusty May portion of this conversation with this, and I want to talk directly to the camera. If Dusty May gets me a national championship 2 seasons after Juwan Howard had this program 8-24 with a point guard who I adore, still to this day, present tense, that wasn't allowed to play road games. I don't even know what to say, number one. And number two, Dusty May can take whatever job he wants. If he wants to go to North Carolina after year 2 of delivering the national championship, go ahead. Do I think that's going to happen? No, because I think he just got Brandon McCoy at halftime while bringing belt to ass to a generational Arizona team. So we'll see. But Dusty May, tip of the cap, my friend. Absolutely. You're a legend, and I appreciate you. All right. Man, we have to do the Axel stuff. I think I want to save that just a little bit longer. Adai Mara, I don't think we've given him truly the personal touch on what this game was. He was the best player on the floor. 26, 9, and 3 assists. He was just a rim protector every single possession. I mean, you saw Arizona wanting to play inside out, and whether it was Koa Pete, who finished, 6 for 18, or Krivas, who had 11 points in 28 minutes, or the guards that got downhill, Adai Mara was there to make everything tough. Card, I've talked about how Mara's the most interesting part of this Michigan team. There are matchups he can't play. As good as he is, there's Wisconsin, who if you've got a guy that's hitting 4 threes, Mara goes to the bench. Arizona couldn't do that, and I think that's where this ended. But even for me to watch him in a Final Four game, 26, 9, and 3, it's one of the more unique individual center performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's obviously Yakel is this guy who brings so much size and versatility, but he's not even the most versatile player on the team. It's Adai Mara. There is no one that tall, that skilled, who finishes like he does. And to your point, I know you have the stat on top of your head. The one thing that went against him was that he wasn't able to shoot free throws. Now he doesn't miss free throws. If it wasn't for, I think, Oscar Goodman late missing 2 free throws, this Michigan team missed no free throws. Yeah. While Krivas and the rest of Arizona, they were missing front end. They missed a lot of free throws in this game. It's just Adai and them being able to throw it into him too, right? They throw it into him. They give him time. If you don't double him, he makes a move. If you do double him, he's one of the best passing big men in the country. It is something that, now I feel like some people make it hard to play him off the floor because he actually does better than I think he gets credit for sticking with people. And, the fact that he's 7'3", him in drop coverage almost feels like he's hedging that time. It makes it very tough to score over him. The one thing that goes against you, though, he's playing like he's not going to be back. He's looking like an NBA player right now. I don't know. What do you think?
That's fine.
Look, if you look at, whether it be a whole bunch of mock drafts, all that type of stuff right now, he's projected late first, early second, depending on what you see. This is crazy, by the way.
Who are you on the phone with?
Well, you say he's not back.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Flory?
Oh, my God.
Unreal.
I said no tampering.
But Cart,
to
answer your question, he does look like an NBA guy. Especially after that game, he does look like an NBA guy right now. I do want to bring up a moment, though, that kind of flipped the switch. Amara was playing good before this moment, with a Michigan appeal on that low block.
Appeal.
Really? Appeal. You can see a little bit of the sport because Mara was adamant. That was that's not on me. See the hook on the lower body, all that type of stuff.
He lied, by the way.
He did lie. Yeah. But I feel like that turned him up a notch. Obviously, it ended up not going in. And the next thing you know, Mara just goes on a tear. Again, I talk about his ability as a big to run the floor with his guards, make crazy mismatches with whether it was Locker or Krivas or whatever, and get incredible positional advantage on the block. Did that the entire game after that moment. Big time.
Yeah, if you wanted to really stretch, can I bend over backwards and stretch?
Pause. My word.
There's a nice little moment of Dusty May's belief in his players, right? Adai Mara's lying and saying, I got hook and held. And Dusty May's like, okay, appeal, review. And that somehow seemed to be a spur of the moment thing for Mara, who was lying. But that's just my head coach is going to go to bat for his guy.
He's willing to ignore the video just to back his guy up. That's special team building.
It's kind of nice.
There's 5 different Mitch Trubisky jerseys that just walked in here, and I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, that's scary. That seems scary. Also, rumors that Brian Ralph, who's doing a fantasy football punishment from our Scrapple Fantasy Football League, is supposed to come here and eat 8 donuts and 4 pieces of pizza or something. I don't know. Keep an eye on Brian Ralph, everybody. Hopefully he can make an appearance soon.
Can I one more thing on Mara real quick?
Please.
You mentioned him being able to be played off the floor and put in the drop coverage. He's just so long, it doesn't matter. Because even if you lose him, he can recover. And there's 2 other guys around him that are equally as physically endowed.
Also pause.
Thank you.
If you're cooking, though.
It's a double pause, but it's true.
But, I mean, honestly, like when you have Merez on one side of him and Yakel on the other, even if somebody beats Mara, they've still got so many trees to kind of weave between. It doesn't really even matter. So
it's very true. Trey McKenna, 16 points off the bench. Carter, I think it was a month ago. LJ Kason out for the year. You look me in the eyes and you say, they're going to miss LJ. I can't back this team to
because
to
you told me they would. You hung his jersey, dog.
I hung his jersey out of tribute. I love LJ Kason.
You told me it mattered.
I still love LJ Kason.
You told me it would matter.
I think I pushed back on that. Can we cut the tape? Can somebody cut the tape of that?
That one was removed. Shout out to blank.
Listen. Trey McKenna's an NBA player, no?
he was the best lottery down freshman on that court last night.
Really after this tournament run?
Yeah, I am.
Sometime in the next 4 years, Trey McKenna's not an NBA player?
I think he gets in the NBA. Are you talking like a first round NBA draft pick?
I don't know where he gets picked. I just think he ends up on a roster whenever he decides to go.
A lot of people on rosters.
If he looks like last night for a whole year.
Yeah, true.
He was lights out. I mean,
yeah, you don't want to give him that fun.
Only missing 3 shots. You go 4 for 6 from 3. Again, put a hand up, whatever, didn't matter. You can see it. I mean, every time first off, I love how March Madness, every time they go for that low court, every time it's like a big moment. The amount of times he hit threes, whether it be over Del Orso, Bradley, whoever it was, Kuchenkov, whoever it was in the room regarding him, you can see the confidence grow and grow after every shot. And again, it was to a point where you just can't miss. Trey McKenna, outstanding. Special.
Yeah, I envision what if he returned to Michigan for year 2, what does it look like? I think he's
probably All-American, right?
I think he's the leading scorer and one of the best players in the country.
Yeah.
I think he's a pro after year 2 would be my guess. If you're hesitant on that, I guess that's fine. But look, this will be a knife to any Illinois fans in the back that are still watching this. We just talked about Jake Davis, who was a bench guy, ended up in the starting lineup, gave them nothing for 5 games in the NCAA tournament, and it was visible, and they had to figure it out. Trey McKenna is a bench guy that probably would start anywhere in America except for this team, is getting a little bit of a bigger opportunity, just slightly because of Kayson's injury, and he's given you 10, 8, 17, 12, and 16 in 5 NCAA tournament games, shooting the lights out from 3 in the process. He's just risen to the occasion. He's a state of Michigan kid. It was Dusty May's first big in-state recruit, and I feel happy for him.
Yeah, he's been a big game guy too. You can go back to St. Mary's. He put on a show at the Breslin Center. Yeah. He had a game against Darius Acuff. I know Acuff got the win, but Trey McKenna went head-to-head with him. He might just have that big game ability. And I think he saw his Pookie Bear Yakel go down. He's like, it's my time to step up. I got you.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about Yakel. I guess for starters, rather than the implications of this injury, he's in foul trouble. I'm thinking, are we going to see him in the first half for that alone? Then he comes back in around the 10-minute mark. I think Michigan had a 5 to 7 point lead at the time. And Dusty was like, you know what, let's break the glass. Let's go for it. I thought that was the right call, first of all.
Yeah.
He impacted the game. They got it back up to 10. Then he has the play in transition where he gets hurt. Injury sounds serious at minimum. It sounds like both an ankle and an MCL problem. And there's real, I don't want to say doubt, but real implications to him not being anywhere near 100% on Monday night. With that said, he goes to the locker room, doesn't return, comes out at halftime. He's visibly limping, starts the second half.
Yeah.
And in that second half, I don't think was anywhere near normal Yakel. He just was moving different. However, he comes back in and bangs 2 threes. I mean, this guy goes 3 for 3 from 3, 11 points in 14 minutes. Not nearly the defensive impact that we would normally see, but at minimum, like if he's at 40% and re-entered that game just to bang 2 threes to help them build a 30-point lead, what do I even say about that performance?
No, I think that obviously it's something that's going to loom over the championship game, but also 60% Yakel is better than half the country. He's that talented of a player. And honestly, I'll take a little bit from the Paramount thing that came out. I think that Dusty was talking about the gravity that Yakel has as a player. There is a little bit of that. Him being on the floor makes you approach the game differently, whether he's fully healthy or not fully healthy. Now, I think early on, you're going to see how he moves. Also think that Yakel, also that adrenaline will kick in the moment. He's a big game guy. That'll help him a little bit. But I mean, he had a pretty good ankle turn. I will say that, stepping on somebody's foot like that. But
the MCL, they're more worried about the ankle.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot going on with that. I think he will be fine though at the end of the day.
He said that he is going to play. He said his agent and mom told him not to play. You also have to take everything Yakel says ever with a grain of salt. So I have no idea what the real situation is. Dusty May said tests were negative. I think everyone expects him to play, whether he's 10% or 90%. That seems to be up in the air. Matt, from what you saw, what percent do you think he'll be for Monday?
I don't even know. And I think that's the special thing about Yakel is you won't know because he's such a goofball. He could be 100% and just, I mean that affectionately, Michigan fans, but like if he's limited, you still have to assume he could just turn it on at any moment. Like he was dragging a dead leg behind him for like 5 straight possessions and then magically burst down the court out of nowhere. It's like, okay, is he fine? Is he not? But you have to guard him like he's a special player because he could break it out on any given moment. And they just don't need to rely on him that heavily. Like, especially against this UConn team that is a little smaller, like they can maybe get away with it more against like most of these other teams would be able to. And so like against Arizona, one of the biggest front courts in the country, we'll just throw Merez and Adai Mara out there for extra minutes. And even Will Cheddar can come in and just be like perfectly serviceable. They're better equipped to survive limited him than anyone else in the country would be to lose their best player. So if he's 60%, I still love your chances because 60%, you still got to assume he could give you a few minutes of 100% in big moments.
Well, let me ask you guys a question, actually, because I'm glad we're bringing up like what he had. He said post-game, like, when I play on Monday, I'm going to be a corner shooter and that's it. Do you believe that wrong?
No. First step of Yakel Lendenberg, we don't believe anything he says. Don't do it.
Well, why?
Believe nothing. Believe nothing.
Fair enough.
Believe nothing.
So, Greg, same question. Do you believe, like, going to be 40%, 60%? Do you think, he just said, I'm going to be a corner shooter that's it. Do you believe him, one? And two, even is that the play? If he's, like, say, like 40%?
I would play him. I think you've got to play him. Do I believe Yakel? No, I don't believe Yakel. I never believe Yakel. I never believe Yakel. And I say this as someone who adores Yakel.
Dan Hurley won't believe him either. So.
At some point in my family's life, Mal, Murphy, Banks, I hope you're watching, we will own a golden retriever named Yakel. That's going to happen at some point in the next 20 years, and it's going to be amazing. What?
Perfect breed choice, too, by the way.
I love Bench. Bench is amazing. Bench has been my guy for an entire decade.
I just want him to get his due.
My next bench will be Yakel, and I will call him Yaks because he embodies a golden retriever spirit, truly. I have no idea what's going on with this guy at all times. I think here's the hard part for me, guys. I think the injury is serious. And I think when you take a player that is so unserious and you throw him in a situation that is forcibly serious,
you have to think aloud.
What do we do with that? The only way for me to really cover what happened last night and talk about it, I'm impressed with how fucking tough he is.
Absolutely.
Excuse my French, but like he's hurt and he stepped on the court in what looked like a blowout, then 5-point lead, whatever, and banged 2 trays like it was nothing.
Absolutely.
The dude's shooting 60% from 3 since March 1st. This is not Milan Momcilovic. This is not Fletcher Lawyer. This is a dude who struggled with his shot for all of conference play. And he's been the best shooter in the country for a month and a half when it matters most. I've never seen a player like him. He is the most gifted guy I've ever seen. And I got to be honest with you, hanging over this title game, hanging over this Arizona win is the simple fact that if he's not at full strength, that hurts. Like, it just hurts. They might win a national title anyway, but that's not what this team was supposed to be in this moment.
Can I throw one thing in, Carter? Yep. You can survive this a little bit better against UConn just because of how slow they want to play.
Yeah.
Like, him limping isn't going to get exploited the same way it would against maybe, faster-paced teams.
The one thing I will say,
counterpoint.
Can I get in real quick?
Hurley is going to make him chase.
He's going to make him chase. And one thing I'll say, I think Yakel's done a good job. There was like a 4-game stretch, maybe not even 4 games. It was very small sample size where he got lost off ball a lot. Kind of got lost off ball. There's a lot of action going on. He wasn't really locked in. If Hurley knows that his ankle, and he knows, Hurley knows that ankle's not feeling good, he's going to be in every action. He's going to be in every single set. So, when you have a coach like Hurley who runs offense like he runs, he's not going to let Yakel just kind of hang out there and maybe play some health side. He's going to put him in a lot of action. So they were going to find out early on how that ankle is truly feeling. Great point.
Live reporting from my mother, Connie Lynn Waddell, who is watching this show. Live report from Connie Waddell. Shout out, Mom. Love you, Mom. Shout out, Waddell. All imaging has come back clean. I'm sure he'll give it a go tomorrow, says Dusty May about Yakel. So
there was no MRI done.
Well, it's Easter in Indianapolis.
That's very true. It's very true. He'll be all right. They'll shoot him up with some, I don't know, some horse tranquilizer in that ankle. He'll be all right.
Ooh, shots?
Ooh, if I get a shot, do I get a Band-Aid and a lollipop?
I'm scared of needles. Whoa.
Okay,
scary.
Coach, I go get 20 now.
Bang, 3. Ooh, 30-point win. Whoa. All right. I'm trying to think if I have anything else on Michigan. I do want to hit Arizona quickly.
Are you happy to be here?
You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
No, I don't think any of us are. Like, am I thrilled with what's happening? Yes. But this is going to be arrogant. Everyone's going to be like, Greg's such a shitty winner. I get it. I have watched 3 national title appearances in 10 years. I haven't seen a championship. Mm-hmm. I've watched 2 great John Beilein teams fall short. And undeniably so, Michigan is the best team in the country. We just beat the second team in the country without Yakel and with Kadau missing a million shots. Like, I don't know what you nitpick. It's just the Hurley mountaintop to overcome. But no, I don't think anybody on Michigan, even Dusty May, who said his Florida Atlantic team felt that. Right? Like, this isn't his first Final Four. They approached this with a totally different mentality, and I think that was embodied by him sitting courtside scouting the first game.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was a true beatdown for what it's worth. It really was. And look, I think that Michigan shows up to every single game, and for good reason. Just saying that they can kind of dog walk people. Like, they have made some really good teams this year look like they are awful. We have people talking about what this Arizona season was. Like, they weren't like a dominant team all year. But I mean, when Michigan plays that way, it's very, very tough to beat them. It is.
Okay, I want to talk about the officials quickly. I was jumping up and down, screaming about this long before Michigan built a big lead. Yakel picked up 2 in the first minute. I thought his first was very real. I thought his second was some bullshit. In a game of this caliber, I just thought it was a touch call to take the best player out of the game 90 seconds into the game. Obviously, his story goes the way it goes. Michigan wins anyway. Whatever, doesn't matter. But he was not the only player in foul trouble. Both Merez and Mara had 2 with about 7 minutes left in the first half. They found a way through that. On the Arizona side, Jaden Bradley ends up with 3 before halftime, picked up a 4th that, let me look directly at the camera, was terrible. The 4th foul on Jaden Bradley was a joke.
It was a bad call.
And do I think it mattered to the game? No. I did tweet this out. Stripes have ruined this game. And can I respond to some Michigan fans for a moment?
Sure.
Go for it. Michigan fans are like thinking I'm an Arizona fan tweeting that? No, let me be clear. We're good enough to beat y'all at full strength, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see Michigan beat teams at full strength. Yeah. I don't want to see Jaden Bradley taken out of the game for no reason, and then we win a game anyway. So I hated the way it was called. Yeah. I guess I'll throw it to you. Am I overreacting to the way the game was called?
No, I mean, a lot of ticky-tack calls, a lot of calls that could have gone either way. Like, I wholeheartedly agree with what you said. Like, second one on Yakel was like, could have been better. I was like, I'm not a big Jaden Bradley guy, first and foremost. Like, I think he's solid. I still personally, this is my personal take, I still think AJ should have won Big 12 Player of the Year. I still think, again, he was deserving, but, like, I still think AJ should have won it. I thought that 4th foul on Jaden was like, and you saw the visible frustration, him going up to the ref, saying, like, he's doing this, but then immediately goes to the bench. Obviously, you have 4 fouls. You need to protect one of your better guys. You need him for those later moments, which obviously didn't happen. It ended up being a blowout, obviously. But if you're Jaden, you're like, in your head, mentally, you're thinking, this ref basically just cost me 1 minute. But also, 2, Del Orso was cold. A lot of these other guys are cold. This is your catalyst. If you're Tommy Lloyd, this is your catalyst at this point, because a lot of these other guys aren't doing what they did in previous games during that tournament. You're like, dang, now what? So you're not wrong in any sense of the word, but also like if you're an Arizona fan, like it is very tough, obviously, but you got to make granted, it wouldn't have mattered. You got to make the most of the line, though. They missed 7 free throws. They shot more free throws than Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some of the calls were ticky-tack, but if you get the opportunities, we talk about the opportunities with Yakel out the game. We talk about the opportunities when you need to go on a run. Like, Illinois did it a couple of times in that game before, but, like, when you have the opportunity to do so, especially against a team like Michigan shooting 44% from 3, you need to make up for every single opportunity that's presented before you. And respectfully, they didn't do that. So you're not wrong in your assumption. However, there were several other things that Arizona could have done better to keep it close.
Well, Stripes great, man. I thought Stripes were great for what it's worth.
Did you actually?
Stripes were
or are you doing the dumb bit?
Stripes were great.
They took 4 different players out of the game at various points.
Yes.
Stripes were great.
And I get this is what Arizona does. That's one of my takeaways that I'll speak to in just a moment. But we're not here to see Yakel and Jaden Bradley out of the game. And the way that game was called took both those guys out of the game.
It killed the flow. Both games, I thought, like some of the stuff was either ticky-tack or it wasn't. You always hear about the inconsistency. I usually think when both fan bases in a game are pissed about the referees, that means they did a good job. But there were like 3 fouls in each game where, like, on the replay, nobody touched anybody. They were just absolute phantom calls. So I feel like, yeah, I don't know. You need a better officiating performance. Like, they can't have the misses be that glaring. If it's little ticky-tack stuff, you can live with it, but guys can adjust. But like that should have been a no call, got a foul. Like that, it's too hard for guys to know what's going on in that situation.
And like, don't get me wrong, like there were a couple other missed calls that could have gone against Arizona too. A couple slaps on drives to the cup, like some people mentioned in the chat, which I do agree with. Like it went both ways though. Like I think Stripes could have been better. So I'm glad you brought that up because again, it's no one wants to see, especially in big games, big time players, big time names getting taken out of big time opportunities. So I wholeheartedly agree. I think it could have been a little bit better.
I just don't. I'm getting ahead of this right now for the national championship game. If Terrence Reed gets in foul trouble, I'm going to be in hell.
He might.
I want Terrence Reed to play the whole game.
He might.
I want to see UConn at their best. I want everybody to play. Yeah. Okay. We are about to close in just a minute. I don't feel like we really spent enough time on Arizona at all. Do we want to go around the horn and give me like one final compelling thought that you take away from either this game or the season from Zona?
I'm sorry, Subi. You wanted a Final Four, though. You got your Final Four. Live with that. It's special. It's a building point for them. Apparently, Tommy Lloyd's going to take them to 1 million more Final Fours, so nowhere to go but up here.
Yeah, I think overall an incredible season for Arizona. I don't think they need to hang their head at all. The Final Four was incredible. Everything about it was incredible. Obviously, it didn't end the way they wanted to end, but Tommy Lloyd and Arizona aren't going anywhere. The recruiting is still there. I think he's going to be aggressive in the transfer portal. Maybe they get some players back from this team as well. A hell of a season. Just, you kept them away from Chapel Hill. Just didn't end the way you wanted to. But, I mean, nothing to hang your head about if you're Arizona.
Can I pull out, like, my full notebook on Arizona thoughts quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. Great season. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Tommy Lloyd's agent should be fired for not giving him the North Carolina job. That's insane. Dusty May mispronounced Karchenkov's last name intentionally to play mind games, and that was a good move. He was unnoticeable. People told me he would be the Yakel stopper. Yakel stopped himself, and yet Karchenkov did not impact this game whatsoever. Koa Pete went 6 for 18 and then hit the podium and said, "My purpose isn't basketball." Let me repeat that. His purpose isn't basketball. I love Koa Pete. I did not love anything from Koa Pete in the 24 hours of this game. Krivas was fine and clearly worse than both Michigan bigs. Braden Burries is 21 years old and had no business being on a court with any of Michigan's guards. Jaden Bradley, I feel bad for. I already spoke on that. He should have played. The way that Arizona plays in general is disgusting. I'm sorry. And I understand no one in the Big 12 could make them pay for that. Their entire approach is just to get you in foul trouble and out physical you. They don't hoop. They have no playmakers. None of their guards can pass. The team doesn't want to shoot. It is truly disgusting basketball. And it hasn't looked disgusting this year because of how successful they've been at it. But against a team as good as Michigan, it is absolutely a joke. And Booby, our graphics guy, just made the best graphic ever, breaking Connie Waddell expects Yakel Lendemore to play.
That's an absolutely insane.
Come
graphic.
on, dog.
That's
Come
an
on,
insane
dog.
graphic, dog. Insane graphic.
I guess my final thoughts. I mean, I agree with what everyone has said on this panel. I mean, I'm a big Cold Peak guy. I was one of the guys, like, we did a show a while back, like, rating the top 10 guys. There was a very distinct conversation. If you look at that back, how high or how low Cold Peak should have been compared to a lot of guys. Like, everyone's talking about Darren, AJ, obviously. But a lot of people talk high about Michael Brown, who had an on and off year. Obviously, injuries hampered his year a lot. There were times because Arizona, obviously, number one team for a while, like, number two, depending on wins and losses, how good or how not good Koa Pete was in that class. I think he lived up to his expectation. I mean, again, he wanted to go to a Final Four. He got there. Again, he brought up into a juggernaut like Michigan. I've said it multiple times before. He said it multiple times before. I'm just really disappointed in how the guard play came up. We talked about it before. We were talking about it at the house. A lot of Del Orso. Del Orso did not play well at all. Like, again,
a lot of Del Orso.
Like, again, I was a big Braden Burries guy. Unfortunately, just he was in a hurt locker the entire game. Like, he tried to get a shot, it wasn't working. I still like the guy. I like the way he plays. There were times where he was through multiple times on the floor throughout the season for Arizona. He had flashes as being like their best player on the floor during several games. Again, he had his ups and downs, didn't turn out the way he wanted to. Again, I do like Jaden Bradley, one of my guys. Shout out my boy EJ if he is watching. He did play with him in high school. He's from Rochester if you didn't know. Again, congratulations for Big 12 Player of the Year. Outstanding season. The extension curse is real. It is what it is. But again, if you're an Arizona fan, I know you don't want to go out in this fashion, but you can't be disappointed with how far you got.
Yeah, 100%. That's the right way to end it. All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Ian.
Absolutely.
Good work, boys.
Special season from you guys.
You too.
Special season from Sleepers, by the way.
All right, we are going to get some new guests up here in just a moment. Cart, what do you need? You need a bathroom break? Yeah, I know you. Go ahead and take a bathroom break real quick. I'll hold the table down real quick. What's that? I think we're getting Ryan Hammer and Christian up next. Yeah. You can put the mic down, yeah. We really need like a 5-minute intermission.
Yeah, just tell the people we'll be back.
We'll be back in 5 minutes. We're going to leave it live.
It'll just be here.
Hey, all right, live chat. Leave us some questions or something. Maybe we'll look at it. I don't know. Cart's going to go pee. I'm going to go mingle. We'll be back in 5 minutes with Ryan Hammer and Christian Ojakjian to do winners and losers.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, people know okay. You leave a little extra space above our heads. I love that.
My brother and I have been fans forever, and then we're big fans. We got her on it, so she is in basketball.
Love that. What's your name?
Chris.
Dope. Nice to meet you guys. Great year.
Yeah. So sad.
It was a nice one, but like, I really like about a band.
Yeah, I just graduated last year, so I was happy with like the
You went great. You got Edie, great.
yeah, that month that we went to the Final Four, we was very good for class and just started that. It does make some difference for these people.
I can feel that. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Not this year. Yeah.
If anyone knows it is, like, Dan Hurley is like a rich guy. Like, he's like, something out of his past. I don't know.
I think it's one we just can't do it.
Yeah. No, Michigan is my last team. Oh my God. So it's but he brings something like I love the vibe.
My roommate is a new record in UConn.
JR, why do you have a good inspired? I'm getting you did a great job, bro.
I got in there. I didn't think they were they only had those literally all the brands.
What's that? Right here. We'll bring Christian here, Hammer here.
You just like hold the mic down here. You're perfect.
Season long. Testing. We're good? Okay. All right. We're back. Hello. Thank you to our listeners. I was looking at the numbers, by the way, during that break. Numbers stayed extremely strong, which is crazy. So shout out to anybody still watching this. Sleepers Nation is a really powerful thing, which is dope. We have Ryan Hammer here. I think the biggest winner of the entire Final Four weekend right now. You feeling good?
I feel good. I have very minimum of a voice.
I'm gonna go. Can I go second here? You're second though, because your pops is a legend. I had time to talk to Papa.
Yeah. somewhere.
Can we get Pops on the show?
Hey, where's Dad? Get Dad.
Where's Pops? Can we get Papa Hammer?
So my whole family is here.
See Papa Hammer.
For anyone who doesn't know, my whole family is here. My dad is here. Both my brothers. My wife is here. Everybody's here.
We're going to make Christian wait a minute. So I was telling the guys when we left the Hammer House presented by Modelo earlier today, I literally looked at Cart and I was like, dude, the coolest thing about what Ryan's doing is that his whole family's with him. Like he literally has Pops. He's got both bros. He's got wifey. We got the house. Everybody's fitted. Like
they asked me to come. I said, fucking, I guess. Yeah, why not?
It's amazing. Okay. First off, Papa Hammer, please introduce yourself to our listening audience.
My name's Mike Hammer. I'm his dad.
What has it been like watching Ryan Hammer get a whole house presented by Modelo at the Final Four?
It's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest. You know, this is my baby. He's the little one. And to watch, just to watch the celebrity status. Hey, can we take a picture? Like what is that? That's my youngest. But he's a good kid, so it's all right. I don't mind.
He calls me a good kid because then he gets to take credit. But I love him.
That's okay. No,
I love Pop. You did a great job.
I wish his success is, mine could be great. I hope he continues to do what he does, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fun too. I mean, we love sports in our family. I think whatever sport, we just love sports. We root for a lot of losers.
Who do we root for? Who does the Hammer House root for?
We're Jets fans. 15 years not in the playoffs. We're Mets fans. My kids have never seen a world championship in any sport.
Nothing.
Adam is 37 years old.
Rangers?
He was 5 when the Nick Rangers won the Stanley Cup as the last one.
Even like Adam went to Maryland after they won a title. Right. We like basketball. I'm a Hawks fan over whatever. They were Knicks fan. Like nothing. Zero. Nothing.
Right. Nothing.
How did he get such a love for college basketball? Is that from you?
No. It's actually from Adam, who went to University of Maryland, and he loved that so much, and he loved Maryland. If it wasn't he was playing soccer, he probably would have went to school there, and he loved that. And that's why I think that's where his love from.
I wanted to go to Florida Gold Coast.
You did want to go to
Dunk City, baby.
That's true.
Yeah, I wanted to go there, so whatever.
That is true.
Well, we appreciate you. You showed us a lot of hospitality the entire Hammer.
You guys are great.
I'm so impressed with what you guys are doing. You should be really proud of your son and the entire family, man. It's
I'm
awesome
proud of him, and I'm blown away. Like, this is all so new to me. Obviously, I'm older, and I watch television networks. TV,
yeah, you're on YouTube.
Now look at me on YouTube, and I'm blown away by the networking of all you guys. Oh, he knows this. You guys all know each other. As big as it is, as small as it really is, and you all help each other out, and it's fantastic what you guys do, what he's doing, and everybody else.
He loves you guys. He loves you guys.
Well, that means the world, man. We appreciate independent media. Got to stick together.
Anytime you're in New Jersey, you can come by and visit.
Hell yeah.
I'm coming to the real Hammer House.
The legit Hammer
the
House.
real Hammer House presented by Modelo.
We have a lot of food. It's always about food. You know that, right?
It's about food.
That'd be crazy.
It's always about
You're
food.
talking my language.
Always
I do
about
love
food.
food. I do love food.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you for being here. Christian, let's get Christian up. Thank you, brother. Man, that's some real stuff. Like, I'm sorry I just forced that on
Here's a smart guy.
But, man, like, truly, seeing what you guys were doing with the whole family involved today, like, I'm at a Final Four covering my team, which I never expected, and my entire relationship with Michigan basketball is from my parents. Yeah. And, like, I've been texting them throughout this entire weekend. So to see you do it the way you've done it, it's just really cool.
Next year, your parents are coming.
I know. Well, I'm still trying to get them here. I think Mom's watching this right now. Come tomorrow night, Connie and Dave. We still have time. All right, Christian Ojakjian is here. ODJ Hoops, the boy, the guy. First off, how are you?
I'm so tired, but I'm running on fumes, and it's awesome. Because the Final Four, baby, it's the home stretch.
It is the home stretch. Our viewership knows Christian from previews and recaps last year. We had a long conversation yesterday. I told him, brother, I think you're the one that got away. Now, that was not a recruitment. That was not tampering. That was not tampering, because I was telling Card earlier today, dude, you're crushing it. You're in like a million different pockets of independent media. The Enjoy team's crushing it. You're working with Hammer. You're still like kind of around our universe. So just quickly, for any of our viewers who remember you from last year, Can you please like bring them up to speed on where the hell you've been for a year?
Absolutely.
You've been all over the map.
Well, after I graduated Wake and I was trying to break out of being like a Wake guy and cover the sport, Greg was like one of the first people to believe in me, and like it came from like my betting write-ups, honestly, because I would just write essays on a pick and got hit with a lot of not reading all that. But when I was right, people were like, "Oh my God, this kid can see the future." But Greg believed in me, brought me on the channel, which was so fun. That was like some of my first on-cam stuff. Anyways, my day job is in basketball, doing behind-the-scenes stuff, so it's been cool because that's opened doors, and I've been doing stuff for Action. And with Ryan's brought me to some awesome things and helped shine a light on me. But I just live and breathe college basketball, man. I love talking about it. I love trying to predict it. And it's just so cool to be at the Final Four.
We gravitate toward people that truly love it the way, and I think all four of us are individually that way. So, brother, it's been dope to watch you this year.
Always.
Thank you,
We're
guys.
going to do a little segment here with Hammer, with Christian, Cart, and myself. Winners and losers from the entire college basketball season.
Okay, I
Not
love
just
it.
Final Four weekend. We can go back to November for this. I want at the end of this, each of us to give 3 winners and each of us to give 3 losers. And in the end, we'll have 12 collectives. So let's go down the line. I'm going to put Ryan Hammer on the spot first. Winner number 1 of this college basketball season is who?
I think of winners. It sounds so stupid. I just want to say coaches, the coaches of America, because obviously in the Final Four in the tournament, we've been seeing the best coaches succeed. Ben McCollum was an easy example. Dusty May, everything I learned throughout the tournament, like the Elliot Kadau passes up the glass last night, everything points to the best coaches winning. Josh Shirt's doing great. All these different guys and getting new jobs. And also, it feels like they have the most power of anybody right now. They can go wherever they want. They have insane buyouts. They have, as long as they can get NIL money and donors, it feels like they're untouchable in a way, the best coaches. And it also feels like we're seeing a new generation of young coaches take over. Todd Golden last year, Dusty May, Ben McCollum, those guys I mentioned. So I like to see that.
So young coaches is winner number
young,
1.
Sexy coaches.
All right, I'm just getting more specific. It's Dusty May. I'm sorry. Is this a homer pick? Sure. Dusty May, let's go back to the offseason. When Dusty May first move was Elliot Kadau. What was all of our reaction?
Boo. What?
Dog, I'm a Michigan fan, and I was like, this is a disaster. And then a week later, he got Adai Mara. And I said, I don't see it. I don't know what he's doing. Like, you could pick out Yakel, obviously. Merez, like, he's a dog. There were so many elements of this that you didn't see the vision for, and his vision hasn't missed an ounce since he lined this up. I think he's the biggest winner of the year, truly.
Yeah, I think I go with that. Also, I'm being told by corporate right now we got to keep mics away from mouth as much as
Sorry,
Oh.
Jack.
I'm sorry.
You're about to say the opposite.
Look, they're yelling at me, and I got to get
It's loud here. It's loud.
Well,
I know. I got to get the chat.
It's really loud in the barn.
We're not the Hammer House.
Also, I got no voice. I'm
Yeah,
like,
next year we will angle for that. I want to go with the transfer portal as the winner for this year, to be honest with you. I think you saw Yakel be extremely successful in his new home. I know a lot of this has to do with Michigan, but I think across the country, there were so many guys that were able to find new opportunities. You see transfers be successful left and right in this country. And I feel like you always hear the negative stories about this guy getting paid this much and not putting up these amount of numbers. It is the new day and age of college basketball. And I think you see, even in this game that's happening this year, Terrence Reed, transfer. Silas Demery, transfer. Like, they have that element to it. So I'm going to go ahead and give the big ups to the transfer portal. I thought they had themselves a hell of it. The entire transfer portal.
These guys are going raw.
Outside of Kansas State.
Every young
outside
coach,
of Kansas State.
the entire transfer portal.
I can say what I want.
I said young, sexy coaches, young, hot coaches.
Winner. I liked a lot of what you guys said. Mine kind of plays off of all 3 of those. I'm just going to say, like, the nerds. Like, the analytics.
Who's making a graphic right now? He's cracking up at these answers.
So hear me out. Everything from, someone like Tyler Underwood, this absolute hoop head, finding Katon Waggler, right? Something from Dusty May and the effort to think outside the box in the portal, to do something that people didn't expect to work with the Kadau, with Amara, like what Greg's saying. Then the Ben McCollums of the world, like just an absolute basketball sicko who, sure, you needed a couple of things like Fulgaris to shine everything, but that run, like that was just a belief in, there's no shortcutting. Like Kentucky tried to shortcut it. Michigan didn't shortcut it. They were extremely intentional. Money in the transfer portal is the main story, but that doesn't mean it's easy or that you can necessarily do it right, or that teams who are moneyballing it, such as maybe in Iowa, like that they can't succeed at that level. So I think you're seeing the levels of intelligence and how smart a staff is being deployed, I think matters more now than ever, because these schools where their GM isn't that good or, just head scratching choices, you can't just bring in guys who the box score scouting in the portal clearly doesn't work. You gotta be a little bit more dialed in than that, and that benefits the analytics people and the true hoop heads and the tape grinders.
Oh, well, he'll go past the deadline. Sorry, we are round robining this. It's back to Christian for winner number 5.
For a loser? No, a winner?
We're doing 3 winners each.
3 winners.
Okay. Let's go. I need more time.
We'll go back to hammer snake style. Snake style.
Mine. By the way, look at this distance. Is that good?
Yeah, chat. We see you. Okay?
Chat too.
Guys, Jacob Karabatsos is our producer. We have no idea.
He's also eating right now.
The fact that this show is even happening.
He is eating.
You sound okay?
All right, guys, it's an absolute miracle to hammer.
Okay, mine's easy. This is the best season in Big Ten history. It's the Big Ten. I have no explanation needed. They've had a record amount of teams, obviously in the tournament, to the Elite Eight, Final Four, a couple of teams. They're probably going to have a national champion, Big Ten.
I love that answer. Catering to our audience, by the way. I learned the Blue Blooded Pods audience earlier. He knows the Sleepers
It's
audience
the truth.
so well.
It's the truth.
Good pull.
All right. Can I do a duo?
Please.
Brad Underwood and Katon Waggler.
Yeah.
Brad Underwood's first Final Four. I know the international European nature of what they do is sort of the story, but a 3-star kid from Shawnee, Kansas, being really the best value in the entire NIL era, a guy that was there for nothing and is going to be a top 6 pick in the NBA draft, while everybody else is paying for this. It has to be really rewarding. It has to be a sign of things to come. I think that's why they're getting like a Lucas Murillo commitment right now. Give me Underwood and Katon Waggler.
That's a good one. I'm going to go back to the coaching realm here. I'm going to go Dan Hurley. That man's inevitable, man. 3 Final Fours in 4 seasons. Has a chance to, I think, cap off what I think will be a generational run by knocking off one of the best teams that we've seen in a long time, this Michigan team. I think a lot of people had discussions about Dan Hurley and what he would do with this year's basketball team, bouncing back from being, what, an 8 seed last year, was it? And losing in the second round to Florida. He answered the noise. He answered all the noise. He beats Duke. He beats Michigan State. And then he goes to Final Four, beats Illinois. Now he has a chance to pass that off by beating your Michigan team.
Yeah.
It could truly be legendary level stuff. Obviously, his legacy is sealed no matter what. But I will tell my children's children about Dan Hurley if he wins the national championship this year with these great teams.
I'll stick on individual level. Nebraska and Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah.
First NCAA tournament win. You get to the Sweet 16, and just building a program brick by brick, right? And last year kind of went off the rails. I think that team could have been really good. Should rank was healthy, right? And they finished some close games better. But to have such a strong defensive scheme that kept them in so many games to start, 20-0. Just Sam Hoiberg being coach's son, his story. Braden Frager coming out of nowhere. Really fun team, and I think a model for how to build a program at one of these power schools that, look, the power leagues are so competitive now because of the budgets and stuff. You don't have that much runway. People aren't patient, but the way he built that program, how fun it was to watch that team and how successful they were, that's a huge win as Nebraska ball.
Yeah. Back to Hammer.
And they're going to be good going forward, too, I feel like. So, I'm making sure the mic stuff. We're good.
Yeah. No, I think we've all. I'm looking at the chat.
There are 2 comments that keep flying in chat right now. 1, Christian's handsome, so you got some admirers. But 2,
the kiss is crazy.
Christian mic on the table. That's all they're saying. Christian's handsome. Christian mic on the table. That's all we're getting.
I'll go with another duo. St. Louis and VCU.
Yeah.
I'm a huge A-10 guy. You guys know that. But not only was this an amazing year for both of them, they both won tournament games, they have potential both to be top 25 teams next year. they're returning almost all of their roster that they can, and they have so much money to go into the portal, and they have great coaches. Absolutely, both could be top 25 teams at the beginning of next season.
I shook Josh Schertz's hand today at the Hammer House. Yeah. Did I tamper?
It was a good handshake.
Maybe.
It was a really good handshake. It was a really good handshake.
He said he's a sleepers listener, which is crazy. Which leads me to a nice segue. I'm going to be selfish for a minute. Sleepers Media is a winner this year.
Oh, yeah.
Sleepers Media is a winner because, number one, I feel like we've built great avenues with you and with you, even though we're not necessarily like working together as part of the rotation. Like, we've got nice corporate partnerships right now. But also,
good word.
On a serious note,
good answer. Good answers. Good answers.
Listen, fellas, allow me to be emotional for just a moment. 4 years ago, I was just looking for a foot in the door. I had no idea what my role in this industry was. I'm sure you feel the same way. You might feel the same way. You certainly feel the same way. Like, you find it as you go when you're an independent creator, the way all four of us are. And to be in a spot where we have brought a team of 10 to do this, and engage with people like you guys who are crushing it on your own. I think we've had some great successes this year. The show with Braden was amazing. But now to cap it all off, not just on a professional level, but a personal level, my team is here, man. Like, I watched an 8-win season 2 years ago, never knowing that this was possible. It's been an amazing year for me, but really for Sleepers, I'm proud of the group we've built, and I'm thankful for guys like these that are still working with us.
And not just is your team here, you're in a sick jacket that you got for free.
Home field, brother. Home field.
Shout out. It's all up. Hey, we love you, and you should be emotional. You should be like that. So we love you.
Yes, love that energy. Okay, now I'm going to get selfish because I'm Cart. Jeremy Fears, we heard that noise. Yes, he tripped a couple people along the way, but he turned into a first-team All-Big Ten player. In the best year in Big Ten history, Jeremy Fears was
Mr. Sweet 16 exit?
In the best year in college basketball history
What
for the
was
Big
his
Ten.
Can I get his stats for the Sweet 16?
He was a first-team All-Big Ten performer, and I have him for 2 more years. Jeremy Fears Jr., the floor general. Salute to you.
I watched Arizona play Tommy Lloyd's first call. The way they want to play should be Jeremy Fears.
At least he doesn't answer to his AD anymore. Christian.
All right, I'll be selfish too. Winner, me, for identifying 2 backup point guards last year in Tyler Tanner and Christian Anderson. I have the receipts, who then became first-team All-League players. Scouts, coaches alike, GMs. If you can afford me, my DMs are open. I have eyes.
And shaking is crazy right now during the awards segment.
But it's a handsome ass.
It is.
It's a handsome ass shaking. It is.
So shout out Tyler Tanner and Christian Anderson for making me look
You'll stamp that ass.
Y'all should stamp it.
You're locked in.
What's up?
You're locked in.
Thank you.
All right.
How do I bounce back?
It wouldn't be Sleepers Media if we didn't get really negative for at least 60% of the segment. So same thing, flip it, losers from the college basketball season it was, 1 through 12, 3 each, starting with Ryan Holmes.
When I think of disappointing years, pair them together, they thought they were going to be the 2 best teams in the country, Louisville and Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's another, it's back-to-back years of spending more money than anybody and thinking that they're going to be the best of the best, and they're not. And it's embarrassing. It's honestly bad. I want them both to be good. That rivalry is great. It was another bad year. They were big losers.
I think that's absolutely right. This is where my head went, and I don't really like that it's where my head went, but I think Darren Peterson's camp, maybe Kansas fans in general. I know that doesn't feel like the right place to go, but like, he's supposed to be a generational product. Cam Boozer wins National Player of the Year. Devonta at least lived up to like real personal expectations. What you thought you were getting as a Peterson fan was certainly not what you hoped it would be. It was kind of hanging over the entire season, and then to get Dylan Darlings, like, I guess Kansas fans is the right way to put that, but I put a lot of it on there.
Yeah, I think the first thing that came to my mind, and I don't know if it's being talked about enough, what's Scott Drew doing at Baylor currently? Baylor's playing in the crowd.
Remember, He turned down Kentucky.
Like because he had a bad dish of chips and salsa, he turned down Kentucky.
Turned down Kentucky for Cameron Carr and Tunde Yesufu.
He has Tunde Yesufu. He has Cam Carr, and he was
And
just
G-Leaguers.
and he was just allowed to just kind of be mediocre this year. And then for him to dip into the G League and it turn out badly and it not like turn around his season, I just feel like more people need to talk about it. It has been a little bit shocking what Baylor and what they've done this year. They're a big loser.
I gotta be honest, I forgot about that. I just like
everyone forgets about him. Scott's doing bad this year, man.
I'm going to go with Mick Cronin's patience for European big men.
That's a good one.
Because Berke and Adai Mara, look, I'm not. Those dudes are two pretty damn good bigs in the Big Ten this year, and I do believe that a healthy Tyler Bilodeau means, UCLA could have advanced in the tournament, but when the one hole in your roster, when you had it and you just weren't patient or you weren't able to adapt, is a bad look. So I loved UCLA this year, but the fact that you had those two dudes I hope it's a tough pill for him to swallow, but maybe he doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, that guy is something else. His patience in general is just, it sounds weird, financial advisors, because, listen, NIL money has gotten out of hand. All the billionaires are donating more money than ever to college programs, and their players are playing like shit. The financial advisors are like, that's stupid. Don't invest your money in that. And they're like, I don't care. I want courtside seats. So they're spending money on all these college basketball programs, and a lot of them aren't going well. Financial advisors. It's a good answer.
Okay, where's Riley Davis? Where's Riley Davis right now? Riley, I love you. I'm looking directly at you. I love you, Riley Davis. North Carolina is one of the biggest losers. They just have to be. And now it's not their fault. Caleb Wilson would have certainly led this team to something other than a 19-point lone lead to VCU. But to sort of go through the year they went, I felt like they were in purgatory all year. I felt like they came into the season knowing they wanted Hubert fired. And they said, well, we've got this freshman. We've got to give him a chance. And ultimately, when Caleb Wilson was healthy, I think he was good enough for Hubert to keep his job. And then the season tanks late, and clearly the entire administration turned on them. But if I'm a North Carolina fan right now, I'm upset at the way the season went. I feel like I wasted Caleb Wilson. And then number three, we can't land anyone we want. We can't get Tommy Lloyd to say yes. We can't get Dusty May to say yes. I don't know where North Carolina goes, but they're losers.
So this one is tied to me personally. It hurts a little bit, but, man, I had BYU in my Final Four to start this year. And it kind of feels like the hype of the season really died out. And not only did the hype die out, but I think the people that doubted BYU, the scenario they thought of, came true. It was AJ's incredible. AJ's incredible. AJ played and he was an first team All-American. He should have been Big 12 Player of the Year. And what did it lead to? You weren't in the Big 10. You weren't in the Big 12 title hunt. You made a mini run in the Big 12 tournament that ended in nothing. And then you lose the first game against Texas coming out of the play. Now I know Richie Saunders got hurt, but I think a lot of the hype out of Provo this year just really, really fell flat for me. So maybe a little bit harsh because injuries were definitely a part of it. But I feel like BYU hype, I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be good next year. But this year fell flat.
Richie Saunders, we love you. Get well. Have a great career.
The ACC.
You're playing the hits right now.
I love this dude.
Everyone thought, ooh, ACC was good in November and their metrics aren't broken, like they're back. No, they still had one good team. Miami and Virginia were really good. Carolina was good when they had Caleb, but like clearly a step behind the Big 10, the Big 12, and the SEC. I think you've got better coaches in that league. A program like Florida State might be on the upturn and whatever. I just think they're clearly fourth, and I think the days have been over, but I think they fooled people into thinking they were kind of back this year, and I don't think they ever were.
Yeah, you got fooled. What? Yeah, I like the way you put that. Yeah, yeah, it's a good word.
I'll go with the West Coast because Arizona gets to the Final Four, but Gonzaga, St. Mary's out early. The WCC is basically disbanding at this point. Randy Bennett's gone. The Mountain West have one team in the tournament. Utah Valley's getting kicked out of their own tournament. Like, it was a nightmare for the West Coast entirely, except for Arizona.
I'm torn between two. I'm going to just glazed past the first one. David Warlock tried to keep this man out, couldn't do it.
Can't do it.
I think the Pearl family. I think the Pearl family has to be my biggest loser. Bruce Pearl, good commentary, I guess. He seems frustrated in his role. Stephen Pearl, disaster. I feel bad for the way the Auburn players were stuck in the situation. Good luck on your NIT championship tonight. I'm rooting for West Virginia on behalf of my guy Dion, but the Pearl family has to be.
They don't know that they made 1 million Brian Hammers that day.
They don't understand. They don't understand the gratitude of what they did.
Hey, by the way, shout out to David Warlock. We do appreciate our credentials.
I was just going to say, relax. Speaking for Carter Elliott, Warlock.
He's got a really tough job.
Yeah, I love you, Pookie. I know you're doing the best you can do. I don't care what these guys say. I stand with you always. I feel like I am making the coaches that are trying to squeeze by. I want them to be brought to the forefront here real quick. My last loser is Oregon. Oregon returns Nate Biddle, who's supposed to be like an all Big Ten guy. They return Jackson Shellstad, and they have one of the worst things. You are Oregon. You have Phil Knight money, and that's the product you put on the floor.
You are Oregon's crazy. What is Oregon supposed to be?
They're supposed to be great. You have money.
Great?
Dan Altman's a good coach.
I love them to start the year.
But all you do is change your court and lose games, and I'm sick of it. So, yeah, Oregon, I saw you. You didn't just get to sneak by. I stay up after 11 p.m., unlike some people, and I saw those games occur. You really let the conference down. You have really way too much money, way too great uniforms. Dana Altman is a good coach. The product they put on the floor this year was absolutely phenomenal.
Dana Altman's a good coach. Great. Bring us home.
I will say Jackson Shellstad is a hell of a player. I don't think that I think he was kind of whatever once he was done. But they did suck, and I agree. I used to put them in my Final Four every year. It felt like I love Oregon basketball. My last one is cheaters. Okay? James Dodgen should never have played college basketball.
Yeah,
Baylor stunk. And Nate Oates still standing on his Charles Bediaco hill months after it happened. The fact that he got 5 games with a dude who I don't even need to say it. Everyone knows how stupid it was. The fact that he just thinks he's right there is lame, and cheaters. I mean, I guess everyone cheats a little bit, but that's a weird that's a type of cheating that we all can agree is let's not have a dude who literally gave up his eligibility and played in the G League and had media day pictures taken in a Pistons jersey freaking play college basketball.
Yeah, job.
If you think about it, none of the G Leaguers worked out.
No.
It's a principle.
Ahmad on BYU?
Terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, so bad.
There's a
reason Baylor, nothing.
There's a reason they never got to the NBA. Also, one more winner, UCLA women's team. They just won.
That's big bad.
Crazy.
Malik Renault. Random shout out, but shout out Malik Renault. He hooped this year. He was in hell for
and Trey Donaldson.
a while.
And Jay Lucas here won. Will Wade.
He falls
come
in my
outside.
nerds thing. You know what I mean?
You're very right.
Will Wade.
And the chat was all over us for this. Braden Smith assist record.
Yeah.
That's a winner as well. Shout out our guy, Peaky B. Legendary year. All right. Gentlemen, I feel like our chats already know this, but can you please plug where to find you?
Brian Hammer, all over social media. ODJ Hoops, all over social media. Blue-blooded, enjoy basketball. Find us.
He said it, but shout out to the Sleepers audience, man. Y'all, these guys are the best. And the whole team is the best. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. 2 of the very best in the business. We appreciate them. We'll be back in a moment.
Can't wait for these boys
give us
to
5
sleep.
minutes.
They just want sleep and hydration so bad.
Can we quickly plug the Family Feud?
Of course.
No. No.
Speak, go ahead.
No.
I get real rattled when I'm around the Hammer family.
That's all it is. It is all.
Yes. We're gonna make some subs. We have no transition, so these guys are out. Thank you.
I'll dance during the transition. You go. No, go ahead.
We're gonna bring former Sleepers media member Brian Ralph and I believe Evan Miyakawa on next. Okay. Were we supposed to be on intermission? Yes, we were.
Sorry about
Are
that.
we currently on intermission? No, we are not. Because this man said, can I come talk to you about the off day?
The off day.
And I said, yes. Tell us about the off day.
All right, the off day is the best day in all of sports. all of us and our friends here from Michigan, we have custom T-shirts.
Go Blue!
We've been to a lot of March Madness games, first round.
A lot of them. 3
First
national titles
weekend.
in the last 10 years.
That's
Tom
true.
Izzo's only been to 1 Final Four in the last 10 years.
That's true. Hit him with the facts. Hit him with all the facts. So you go to these games, you've got a game, a day in between, and a second game. Thank you. I'm probably yelling too. So you got a game, no game, game. That game in between, if you win that first game, is the best feeling in the entire world.
Brother, you're
no responsibilities.
You're telling me.
No responsibilities, nothing to do, just hang out with your friends, bop around a new town. We call it the off day. So we got custom T-shirts, and that's what we're doing. We're celebrating the off day.
Do you have different color off day T-shirts?
This is the first time we've done the T-shirts.
Okay.
That's how good we're
I'm willing to get one if you get rid of the maize and blue color.
So we can make it happen. Well, we got a nice little Wolverine, but whatever.
I need one without that. And
yeah, we'll make it happen.
When was the first off day T-shirt printed?
The first off day T-shirt was this weekend. Our first off day
this weekend before the Final Four game.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
You knew you were getting an off day.
We got them last Monday. We got them last Monday.
That's special. That's special. That's really special.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. No.
No.
I mean, I can make them.
Well, okay.
I got personal IG handle, Detroit William. I'll make you Final Four or whatever your off day is. Again, first weekend, second weekend, you can wear them whenever.
Cheers to the off days.
Thank you.
Let's get a win.
Let's go blue, baby.
Let's go blue, baby.
Let's go blue.
We're gonna go blue. It's a Michigan crowd. It's a Michigan crowd. All right, we are gonna get Evan Mia in next. Brian Ralph is supposed to be here somewhere. Evan, come on. Evan, come on. You're up. Brian Ralph.
I don't know if anyone can feel this like through the mic or through the show, but this legit is my personal hell. There's Michigan fans everywhere, and I can't say anything about it. They just whooped me 2 times, and now they're here enjoying their off day.
The off day.
My off day happened 2 weekends ago. I've had off weeks now. Hello, Evan. Hello, Brian.
Ralph, Evan, did you guys know that Loyola Chicago has made an equal amount of Final Four appearances as Tom Izzo in the last 10 years?
Checks out.
That's a fun fact, is it not? Shout out Drew Allentown, by the way. Love Loyola. Okay, Evan Mia, the GOAT, is here. Brian Ralph, the other GOAT, is here. Let's start with Ralph because Ralph is going through something pretty unprecedented today. Ralph, explain the predicament you're in.
Yeah, so we've punted on this already. We're done.
What do you mean you're done? What do you mean you're done?
We could not accomplish the goal.
What was the goal? Tell our
So the goal, I suck at fantasy football.
Can confirm.
Way to get that out there.
We're also as blue bloods in our fantasy football group.
Ralph, Greg, and I are all in the league together with a bunch of other.
Blue bloods are you, me, Sweeney, Borzelli.
Yeah.
And then there's like 7 others who are okay. And then Ralph, who doesn't show up to the draft and loses every year.
I did not show up to the draft last year and did better than when I showed up to the draft this year.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That's not good.
But so my punishment was I had to do 2, 4, 6, 8. Some combination of beers drank, sliced pizza eaten, donuts eaten, and miles ran. And I got to pick the 2, 4, 6, 8, how many of which that we did. We got 2 miles. Because anything more than 2 miles was not getting done in the 90 minutes that it had to get done.
Did we run 2 miles?
We ran 2 miles. And Evans got
it done in 22 minutes.
How much of a struggle was the running 2 miles?
Surprisingly, was the least amount of the struggle.
Yeah, he thought that was going to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
He crushed it. He looked good.
Yeah, I did not look good. You showed me the videos. I did not look good. But the pizza was good. We had planned on doing 4 slices of pizza, knock those out in the car ride from the track to here.
Okay.
Like 6 minutes.
So far, so good.
The problem was it was pan pizza. I got arrogant, and it was expanding in my stomach.
You did get cute.
And the donuts that we got were very cakey. So everything was just.
We just got generic store brand donuts from Kroger because we just grabbed whatever we saw, and it was.
Again, none of these are good decisions. But if I made good decisions, I would not have been having to do the challenge anyway. So,
yep. Thank you, Hammer.
Good seeing you, dog.
So,
okay, so how short did we fall at the goal?
We fell a beer and a half short.
Beer and a half space. You can't let the beer.
Wait, the beer's what held you up?
No, it was a beer and a half, 2 donuts.
I thought you're from the South.
We're close. We were that close.
He waved the white flag with 10 minutes ago because he couldn't stomach another.
If I finished this, I would not have been able to.
Wait,
I would have been in the
actually, wait.
I would have been in the bathroom.
Wait a second, though,
So I
Ralph.
made a decision for
His
my
last
health
beer took him
and
like
the fun of the
15
show.
minutes.
Wait, you gotta wait a second here. South Carolina Lady Cops, they lost because of you. I want that. That is on you.
They lost?
Yeah, they lost. You weren't ready to compete today, and they didn't compete today.
It's not great.
They mailed it in just like you mailed it in. How dare you?
I equated his performance like Purdue against Arizona. He was great in the first half and then just got completely ran out of the gym in the second half. Waved the white flag early.
Well, I'm proud of you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah. And thank you to Evan for organizing. Evan was texting me earlier, and I got like snippy and text like a dickhead.
You said you were up for helping with logistics, and then you're like, wait, I have a show.
Yeah.
I was like, never mind.
I do appreciate it because it made it so much easier for me that you two were coordinating and then Kylin passed it off.
Well, here we go.
You two coordinated and made me. If I was left to me, it would not have done.
Well, it's good to be here. It's good to have both of you here, close friends of the show, as people know. We've had Evan on a few times through the years. Evan, I want to ask you this first. Your perception of this national championship game, this historic Michigan season, and then the historic dynasty and what UConn has been. Give us the lead up to this final.
In some ways, because of the relative blowouts that we saw, obviously UConn didn't exactly blow Illinois out, but they were kind of comfortably in control the whole time. My feeling walking out of the gym last night was like a little bit like, oh, that's really frustrating. And then seeing how Michigan rolled Arizona, it was like Arizona's a better team than UConn, so same thing could happen again. But if, say, we had Duke in the final instead of Michigan, I think people would be like, great, this is a heavyweight fight. But realistically, I think UConn has a better chance of like actually hanging with Michigan than maybe we would give them credit for before this Final Four started. And, you know, in retrospect, like Dusty May said after the game, he was like, yeah, Michigan was not really that great of a matchup for Arizona. And on the flip side of that, UConn has the recipe that other teams have used to beat Michigan the few times it's been close, which is brilliant three-point shooting. Now, it's not been there for a lot of the tournament, but in the last game it was, and at the end of the Duke game it was. So if UConn can make three-point shots, then it's a game.
Yeah.
If they can't, then it's not a game. But it's Dan Hurley, and I feel like for a casual viewer of the tournament, if you're like, I don't know anything about what happened this year, but I'm looking up and it's Michigan versus UConn, I think it's actually perfect because Michigan's like the new juggernaut, but you know Dan Hurley is like the best coach in the game. So there's a ton of appeal just from that perspective, regardless of the seeds or the efficiency or any of that.
We're going to do our preview in a little bit here, and I'm probably going to repeat this. But to me, there's the narrative side, and then there's the X's and O's side. The narrative side is this is the biggest, baddest coach in the sport who may be coaching for GOAT territory. Like, respectfully to all of the greats from our past. If he wins 3 titles in 4 years in the NIL era, oh, yeah. I don't know what we look at. And we're looking at him against a big, bad wolf of this Michigan team that looks like one of the most dominant we've ever seen. Then X's and O's wise, here's what I would say. As good as Arizona was, pointed this out in the preview, they didn't do anything to make Michigan uncomfortable. It was either going to be Arizona's just better or it doesn't work. What UConn does all around is designed to frustrate Michigan. These intricate sets, they're going to make Merez Johnson chase Alex Caravan. This slow tempo. Can they make 50% of their threes? They're probably going to have to do that, but they are more well-designed to do it than any team Michigan has seen in this run.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Iowa because Dusty May was asked at the press conference today about like how to defend UConn. And he brought up, like, we've kind of seen this in conference play with Iowa and how that went. But that game came down to the last possession, right? And I think we'd agree that UConn's a better team than Iowa.
Sure.
Right? Like, I think it's one of those things where outside of the Duke game, Michigan has just destroyed everybody in its path in one of these big games, right? Because they played in how many games of the year that we call it, right? And
like
the
10. Yeah.
The Duke game, aside from that, they've won all of them by 40 and 30, right? But now you're going up against UConn and like yeah, if Michigan wins by 20, I don't think we're going to be surprised. But also, do you expect Michigan to beat Dan Hurley by
20.
No.
Right, I think it's a better chance of looking like that Iowa game where it is slowed down, it is close late, than I do the Arizona game. And even the Arizona game, too, it was a 5-point game when Jaden Bradley got his third foul. Right, like Michigan went on that huge run, but their bigs were in foul trouble. And then Jaden Bradley gets his third foul. Arizona falls apart. Things are done from there. Right? Michigan probably would have won anyway. But I think that's enough. Right, 100%. I don't know if UConn, same time, UConn also kind of goes as Terrence Reed. Is Reed going to out-duel Michigan's front line by himself? I don't think so. Right? Like, he can have a great game. He can have a great game and offset one of them. Or you can offset all three. I don't know. So I think it's interesting to see. I think we'll know the first 8 minutes how the game's going to go. But I would expect it to be closer than it actually was.
I've said this: if Terrence Reed dominates Michigan's front court en route to a national title, I will need the hotline. I will, and I don't mean that as disrespect to Terrence, but like that is the relationship moment of this. He came from a Michigan program where I believed in him, and it wasn't this. They won 8 games, man. It wasn't his fault, but for that to be sort of the moment for him individually in this Michigan program with Jawan Howard, who is working the game courtside, it's just kind of crazy to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, first and foremost, Brian Ralph looks like Joe Goldberg from you. Now moving into the conversation about this game, I think it's going to be a heavyweight matchup. I think if anyone can figure out how to maybe attack this team, I think it can be Dan Hurley. I think they can slow the game down. And look, Terrence Reed had a dominant game against Furman. He had a dominant game, a really good game.
Yeah, let's do it.
A really good game against Pat Ngongba with 1 foot.
Pat Ngongba.
Xavier Booker,
no time to go down.
and 2 of Visich's.
Jackson Kohler. And 2 of his.
If he does this against.
By the way, Tom Izzo guarded Terrence Reed with Jackson Kohler and put Carson Cooper on Alice Carrigan.
If he does this in this game, I will legit carry the flag for the greatest big man run ever.
Oh,
in
yeah.
college sport in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous because if he stamps it by doing it against this front court, and here's the thing, it can be done. I feel like we came to that Big Ten tournament game and we were like, there's no way TKR and Austin Cluff can do this.
Yeah, they had 2 of them.
We didn't think either could.
But
one did.
But having 2 is different.
Caravan can step up too.
Sure.
Caravan can step
So
up too.
as a Michigan fan, I'm more worried about being bound for 3. Like if I know I've been the Terrence Reed skeptic. Maybe this just all comes back to my face. I don't believe Terrence Reed. I don't believe anyone can beat Michigan that way.
Terrence Reed is averaging 21 points and 13 rebounds in this tournament.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
But
and taking care of the basketball.
We
turnovers.
would have said before the Arizona game, like that's the best front court in America. Like there's no reason to believe a singular player can do that other than Cam Boozer. But even I don't think Boozer won Duke that game. I think it was other things.
I think the interesting thing that I think about with this game, and I noted it after UConn's comeback against Duke, was that Duke and Michigan have both been great the whole season, but with the whole Duke blowing leads thing, Michigan does literally the opposite. They get their lead, they get to 15, and then they're like, cool, it's 0-0. We're going to go up 30. So, like, Duke got up 19 points against UConn and then kind of coasted. Michigan, they're like, we don't care what the score is. We're just going to keep, like, driving you into the ground. So if Michigan gets a 12-point lead, in my head, narratively speaking, like, I'm not like, well, UConn did this against Duke. They still could come back, obviously. But Michigan, like, they're as, like, comeback proof as any team because they literally just kill people for a living. Yeah. So UConn has to keep this game close. And I think if you get to under 12 and it's still a 6-7 point game, then I think it'll probably be a rock fight to the end. But if Michigan gets up, 15 like they get against Arizona, I don't know if it's possible to come back from that.
Injury concerns, solo ball in a boot, didn't practice today. We will see if he is available tomorrow night. Yakel Lendeberg is supposedly going to give it a go, although no one knows if it will be 10% Yakel or 90% Yakel. Your guess is as good as mine. What do you anticipate?
Everybody's going to play. It's a national championship game. Everyone's going to play, right? Whether how long and how effective they can be, it's a different conversation.
Who do you think it impacts more?
I think it impacts UConn more because you have Silas Emery who's banged up as well. Got the ankle. No question he's going to play, but he's admitted the ankle thing is an issue. Solo Ball has the wrist thing that's bothered him most of the year. He's fought through it. I think he's still going to play, but like there's another issue for him, right? I probably would have also said we went back to Michigan if Yakel was 50% or so. It didn't matter last night. Right? He played 15 minutes in the game, and he still ended up hitting a couple big threes during that stretch.
From three.
They turned it over. I mean, or turned it open. It was one of those things. It was special. It's going to impact UConn more because I think UConn's margin for error is smaller than Michigan's. But I would expect everybody to play. Again, it's a national championship. You're not playing at one of these two programs if you're not up for moments and games.
But Yaxel's mom said don't play.
That was
Agent
a lie.
did too. Agent did too.
That was a lie. Yaxel lies, and that's why me and Yaxel get along, because we lie for the greater good of our program. That's exactly how I approach things. I want to ask you though, Evan, because I think that's a great point that Ralph brought up. I think we saw in the Illinois game, there was a lot of guys that maybe weren't ready for that moment. I don't think anyone can deny that UConn, they got guys that are national champion on team. They're going to be ready for the moment, but also Michigan's been one of the great teams this year at getting up for the big games. But UConn's going to be able to beat that, right?
Yeah. I mean, for starters, coaches in the Final Four who had been there before crushed the coaches who didn't. Like Dan Hurley and Dusty May have been there before, and their teams just look so much more prepared and energetic. Like I'm sure that Illinois had like a good game plan and all that, but like, well, at the end of the day, I was like 20 feet from the court. Their energy level just didn't look. They looked a little nervous, a little bit like we're trying to feel this thing out. UConn, I don't think played their best game, but they just seemed a lot more crisp. Michigan obviously like came out of the gates firing, and even when like Kadau was missing shots, he's like, I'm just going to be aggressive the whole game. And Arizona, just didn't quite look ready. So there's that. To your point though, one of the things that I track at evanmia.com is how much better teams play up to elite competition. If you look back at the last 5-6 national champions entering the tournament, every single title winning team has been excellent at playing their best games against the biggest competition. Michigan and UConn are absolutely in that boat this season. Michigan has been way better against top 10, top 15 opponents. UConn certainly has been the case as well. Like the reason UConn's not a top 3 team at evanmia.com or KenPom or whatever is because they had some duds against lowly Big East competition. But in big games, they've been awesome. And so that gives me a ton of confidence in Dan Hurley, which, I mean, that's just kind of his MO in general. His group is always ready. Everyone knows the statistics at this point. He's never lost in the Sweet 16 or beyond. I still think it's more likely not they lose this game, but I don't think they're getting blown out, or at least of any coach to be, that you would trust to be close against this Michigan group, it's him.
And when you say some duds, you mean losing to Marquette with a regular season banner on the line. The worst Shaka Smart Marquette team ever with a banner on the line. That happened like a month ago.
No, I need a new job because I can't do it.
I'll take one, yeah. Jack and Diet. I can't believe anybody has to ask this. It's always Jack and Diet.
Jack and Diet.
Yeah, it's so hard to find good help these days.
All right, I have a little segment I want to do before we let you guys go. And this is something we're all in the group chat together, Scrapple, as we call it.
Yes.
With some of the greatest young, I guess not even young, just media college.
Lot of unks in that chat.
5 years ago when it started, we felt young, and now I'm looking at other people like we're not young. Like movies here, he's young. But it's fun, and I love y'all, and I feel like our friendships have been formed through that chat.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate Jeff Goodman for starting it. Here I am.
Oh.
I sent a text maybe a week ago asking, how would you rank this year's Michigan, this year's Arizona, last year's Duke, and I think last year's Florida, and I wanted us to put them in order. I think results have maybe changed how that conversation would now be viewed. So here's a new prompt I would like to give you. I'm going to give you 3 teams. Okay. I'm looking at 2024 UConn. Okay. The second of 2 3-team national champions, Stephon Castle, beat Indy by 15. I think they set the record for largest win margin in an NCAA tournament. In fact, I saw a number. Michigan needs to beat UConn by 33 to break that record. So that UConn team, I'm still going to go back to last year's Duke team. Maybe we'll all put that team last. I don't know. But analytically, that team was the best team we've seen in 20 years. And then they lost a one-possession game. And then this year's Michigan team. Give me, I guess, a start, bench, cut, 1, 2, 3, rank them in order. We'll start with Rob.
We're cutting Duke because Duke needed a point guard. UConn needed a point guard this year, too. It helps you from blowing losses when you have a point guard who can settle things down. I would put Michigan below that UConn team. I would still put that UConn team first, and that can change obviously with another massive Michigan performance. I do put stock in that title, but also Zach Edey was the most dominant interior force we've seen since TV was broadcasting color, basically, right? And Klingon, Edey went off, but UConn had a game plan to where it didn't really matter, and Klingon made it as difficult as possible for you. He still put up 65 points or whatever amount it was. Yeah. It was insane. But, like, if anybody is going to – if you could pick anybody from college basketball history, particularly recent history, to make this more difficult for Michigan, it's probably Donovan Klingon, right? And the collective of Michigan's backcourt has been phenomenal. But if you're going to go individual ranking, Stephon Castle's number 1 on that chart, right? Right. So I would still take that UConn team. There was no doubt about going in that tournament if UConn was going for the championship. It was about like how much, right? So I would take that UConn team, but I think it's very, very close. And the conversation becomes, I think, very different if Michigan wins the title game by double digits. Okay. So are you doing UConn, Duke, Michigan? Is that what you said?
UConn, Michigan,
Duke. Michigan. Yeah, cut Duke.
Evan, me and next.
I'm so torn on this because, as you know, I'm not just going to go off of like gut feel. I'm also going to think about analytically how good these teams are, as I should. Right? Now, I'm not just blindly going with.
By the way, somebody, I think it was Jesse in the chat earlier, said Evan has done amazing work this year. We wanted to give you some love. The chat is showing real love.
Thank you. I'm going to win our bracket pool that we're in comfortably.
Hell yeah.
Computers.
Also, like, respectfully, am I allowed to say this? Some of the Final Four staffs are like Evan B. is subscribed. Are we allowed to plug that?
Michigan was the first staff to sign up for my front office suite product last offseason to help them with building the roster and doing NIL.
While Elliot Kadau and Adai Mara were being signed, I was like, I don't know about this. And Evan was like, well, the front office suite is a big part of this.
Yeah.
Genius.
And my numbers are very high on Kadau last year. So that's great. Yeah. I think I don't want to over-index singular games because March Madness is a random results generator in a lot of senses. Like, if Michigan and Arizona played again tomorrow, I don't think Michigan is winning by 19. I think it's maybe they're favored by 5, but like, I think in a best of 7, Arizona wins at least 2 games. You know, that's based on how good we know these teams are. That's just where I'm at. So with that being said, I think it's a real bummer that Duke team didn't even win a Final Four game because they were so good. And if we're talking about the way I'm grading this is if they're matching up on a court, who's likely to win? So I think I'm still taking that Duke team over everyone else, even though that Duke team, I love that Duke team. I still hold firm. Cooper Flagg is the best player I've ever seen in person. And I've not seen everybody in person. I've seen a lot of people in person.
Have you seen Yakel?
I've seen Yakel. They won 0 close games.
Healthy Yakel?
They won 0 close games that year. And I think that matters. But everywhere else, you see it in the NBA, they're phenomenal. My only issue is they won 0 close games. I mean, the problem is that the reason they won 0 close games was because they were blowing out everyone else in the games that were supposed to be close. You know, so that's still where I lean.
Fellas, this was a great prompt. I got Ralph.
No, honestly, really good transition from Evan because obviously he talked about everything. He's like, I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment. I'm going to be like very locked up by the moment right now. Yeah, if Michigan wins tomorrow, that's get your
Come on.
Get your arm
look at the camera. Somebody clip this. Go ahead and say it.
This white man is dangerous.
Go ahead and say it.
Greg.
Go ahead and say it.
This is assault, brother.
Go ahead and say it.
All right. Michigan is definitely one of the greatest teams I've seen in my life. If they have
they're the
greatest team I've seen in my life if they win tomorrow.
Look, I don't want to be that guy, but I will be that guy.
Okay, so on the other two teams, right now I'm taking the UConn team slightly ahead of this Michigan team. But if Michigan wins tomorrow, if Michigan wins tomorrow, I'm flipping it.
Third. Are you okay?
If Michigan wins tomorrow, I'm flipping it.
Third.
In this economy?
No,
If Michigan wins tomorrow, I'm flipping it. Michigan too.
Gas prices are astronomical.
Here's my thing, fellas, and I don't think there's a replicable situation with either of the past two. But here's what I would say. What impressed me most with Michigan's run right now is last night without Yakel.
Yeah.
Like, to me, and you can push back on this, what Yakel has been to Michigan this year is Cooper Flag-ish. He's not that good. I'm not saying, and he's 24. Cooper Flag was 18. It's very different. But the way he impacts all levels of a game, he is a Cooper Flag level impact player to this team. And he was just ripped from the game twice, once with foul trouble and once with injury. And in those spans, Michigan extended to a 19 and then to a 30-point lead against one of the best teams we've seen in 20 years. Yeah. I don't think Duke without Cooper Flag could do that. I don't think UConn without whoever you want to claim their best player, Klingon, 2 years ago could have done that. Look, we'll see how it closes because Dan Hurley terrifies me. But if this comes to a close the way I think it's going to come to a close, I think we look at Michigan as the best team I've seen since I've been alive.
I will say this, too. We talk about how Hurley's like approaching GOAT status.
Yep.
Right? Approaching this. These are probably the best two coaches that, unless one leaves for the NBA, we're going to have in college for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
We had this conversation after the 2022 Final Four when Coach K retired, like who the next guys were going to be leading the sport. Right? Hurley made himself known pretty quickly. But Dusty May was also in 2023 Final Four. He's been in 2 of the last 4 as well. So, like, Dan Hurley should terrify you. If you're UConn, Dusty May should terrify you as well. Sure. Like, I think this is his chance to also make a statement of, like, yeah, I'm on that same kind of tier, which just adds another layer of interest. I said last night on Twitter that if Michigan wins this national championship, I think there is an argument that they are the best or one of the best teams we've ever seen. And the reason for that is not because of their record, right? They have 3 losses. There have been some other great teams who have been the overall #1 seed, who've lost less games, all that stuff. Just in the context of this season, this is the most talented college basketball season that we have probably ever had. Yeah. With the amount of freshman talent and all the other players who have stayed in college because NIL. So even though Michigan hasn't been the clear #1 team in everyone's eyes all season, though I would make a case analytically they have been, right? I've had them ranked #1 on my site for like 115 days or something. I know. And I never had Arizona ranked #1 once.
Finger me one finger.
Always been a Ken Pom guy. Love you, Evan.
Okay.
Love you, Evan.
So, but
Ciao, Torvin.
I think Michigan.
You and get Matt. That's next.
Let Evan cook.
I think Michigan, Arizona, and Duke have all been some of the best teams we've ever seen in recent memory. In the context of that, so when you take that into account, and then how Michigan has rolled through this tournament, how they absolutely demolished a team in Arizona who a lot of ball knowers thought was actually going to do that to Michigan. Ralph being one of them. He lost another bet, by the way. Thank you. Thank you. When you take that into account, again, they have to get over the line against UConn in order to complete the story. But if they do that, I think in the context of that they might be one of the greatest teams we've ever seen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You had Michigan winning.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
You had who? Florida? Arizona. I had Duke, so I failed. Who'd you have?
I had Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. So it might be analytics.
Everything is coming up every week.
And before we go, I've been waiting 2 years to ask this simple question.
Okay.
How are we feeling about the Mark Pope era?
What was John Calipari's best finish in the tournament his last 4 years since the pandemic? It was round of 32, right?
Are we counting now?
No, with Kentucky. At Kentucky.
We don't get to count what's currently happening at a lesser program than Kentucky.
Love that.
Sure.
If we're going to count it, we went Sweet 16, Sweet 16, Sweet 16 round of 32.
That agenda.
Go finish your donuts, man. Where is
No, this is a make or break year 3 for Mark Pope. And I told you this. I liked the hire. I thought what he did year 1 was good. But he had to take step forward in year 2, and they did not. Which surprisingly, paying millions of dollars to guys who were injured and never going to play the season was not a smart decision to make, Mark Pope. Not a smart decision to make. So I have hope. I still think he's a good coach.
Sure.
Right, but there's a lot of stuff he's got to get right. And he would the little poke that cool. He would admit it's not a emotional press conference. He's got. I appreciate the fact he cares about the
Cheers. All right, we want to thank Evan Mia, the best in the analytics business there is. We love him. Brian Ralph, one of my favorites I've ever worked with. I love this man to death. I really do. And Kevin Sweeney's here apparently. I just saw him. We're gonna have to get him on the show in a minute. Give us another 2-minute break. We're coming back. We're coming back.
Ralph probably has to throw up.
We're coming back with Michigan UConn next.
Chat. I heard the rumors. Everybody thinks I'm lost. I'm right here.
Everybody thinks Dion.
I never left.
A night 1 from 2025, but he's right here.
I never left.
And I'll tell you guys from a straight up perspective.
Someone said he's safe. That's tough.
He's safe. Listen, if I'm around, Dion's good. Only reason last year happens because I wasn't around.
Chat. I'm fine. I'm not betting on tennis. I do have West Virginia money line though.
Shout out the Crown.
I do got West Virginia money line. West Virginia was up 26-12. Now we're down 41-30.
Don't ever say Dion and I don't love y'all, because last time we took a break, the noise was heard.
Yeah.
So now we're here.
Yeah.
The noise was heard.
Chat, what do we want to talk about?
What do y'all want to talk about? We can talk about anything y'all want. All we've talked about is the games. You know what I want to talk about, Dion? In the first 2 days.
Am I not in the frame?
Yeah, the camera got moved, so maybe not. Scoot over beside me.
I don't want to take our seat.
Yeah, the camera got hit, but it's fine. I'm pretty sure Boogie did this. So we're good.
I'm in the frame.
Yeah, I think we should talk about stock risers, but like sleepers guys.
Mine's down heavy.
You're trending upwards though.
Have I been good today?
I think so.
Okay.
First off, chat, if you can't tell, Dion is like pretty much sober. This is generational from Dion. He's sober.
If they don't have a booster seat, how about seeing if they got a phone book for Dion to sit on? Let's be honest. I'm not that short. Everybody else is just really tall.
Yeah, listen, guys. We got to find a new Dion.
Dion was a penny stock for me for a long time.
Crazy. Did you sell your shares?
He said, but now I'm all in. Okay, respect.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now, Matt Moderno
stock up.
You can't purchase enough. My guy Ian, you'll see more of him. Stock so far up.
Ian stock up.
Dude, stock is so far up. It's crazy.
J-Man stock up.
J-Man stock up. You know why I like J-Man? J-Man gives me another guy who's not a drinker. Who's not a drinker. J-Man gives me a sober one.
No comment.
What? I said you give me another guy that's not a drinker. Love that for you.
I've been behaving this weekend.
I was gonna say.
Shut up.
I've heard the stories about J-Man.
You see this scarf right here? This scarf just shows how serious I take this job.
Yep.
And content is content. And I'm locked in. So that's why I have the scarf on.
Yep. He is locked in. First night, didn't have a bed. Straight water.
Yeah. I drove 9.5 hours, all right? And then we went straight to Hammer's show. So I was locked in. Had to be locked in. Had a great sleep, though.
Yeah, the fact that you survived 9.5 hours in that cracker box is crazy.
And then I had to deal with Dion.
Wasn't my best performance night one. And I think it sucks that that's how people know me.
Also, I want it known that I'm on to Greg. He got us this bar. There's already been 17 Michigan chants. This is a Michigan ball.
I do love that.
That was a great play for G.
I do love that.
G said if we're going live,
I do love that.
we're at a Michigan ball.
I do love that.
I respect it. Not a UConn fan in sight.
Well, I do got UConn plus 1,400 though. What does that make me?
An idiot.
That's from before the season.
That makes
you. Oh, I thought you were talking about
That's from before the season.
No, good call then. My fault. My fault.
I did that one.
Dion has been on my shit list for all weekend, so I jumped the gun on that. He's still an idiot.
Y'all think 3 units is one team. He got 3 units on.
Michigan minus 6.5.
No, so I had 3 units on Purdue, 1 unit on Duke, 1 unit on UConn.
I love that.
Yeah, I spread it out a little bit. I had Duke plus 9.99.
Dan Hurley's terrifying.
Dan Hurley is Dan Hurley, and that's scary. You always have a chance when Dan Hurley's on the sideline.
I need him to win so bad it's crazy. So bad it's crazy.
So, all right, this is a good question for y'all. What is the highest y'all would tease the alternate spread to? I think I would still take Michigan at minus 15.5.
I would probably 14.5, like 15 or more is where I can see them winning.
19.5.
Thank God this is live, just so I can just eat so much crow when UConn wins money line. You can clip this, and that's on me. But right now, I'm so confident in Michigan that egg on my face if this does shoots me in the backfire is what I'm trying to say.
Phoenix Pro. What? It's called Phoenix Pro.
It's a banger.
I mean, I got a live mic.
This is insane that they're playing this.
It's a banger.
Greg has played this song 47 times while we've been here.
It's a banger.
Special.
The fact that Greg is not sweating in that jacket, he has to be sweating in that jacket. We could be at Sean Miller territory. We've been recording now for about 4 hours.
Yeah. No.
He's got to be in Sean Miller territory.
So this is like, I feel like this makes me really respect Kai Cenat for doing 24-hour streams.
What are we doing next?
It's a great question.
Okay.
This is specifically, I don't want the chat to leave me, so I'm here. And I got J-Man and Dion. What else could you want?
All you need is J-Man. I'm not going to lie. Star of the show this weekend, J-Man. He only had one bad moment, courtesy of the kid.
And it wasn't even a bad moment. The thing was, I threw Dion's shot right back in his face. So then the second time we played, I overlaid defense to try and pin him against the backboard. He got me. He made the shot. Besides that, little bump in the radar. It's been a hell of a weekend.
Let me see the tape.
Don't show the tape. We were burning the tape.
Let me see the tape. Let me see. Let me see the tape.
Also, I want to let y'all know, Booby got Jay Hard in him.
Yeah, Booby's had a good weekend. Booby's had a good weekend. Booby's had a good weekend.
Booby's cooking.
Booby's had a good
Jay Hart's been cooking too. Jay Hart is my intern.
I forgot. There's a new internship that you guys don't know about.
They're trying to say Boopy is better than you.
Listen, I love my dog Jay Hart.
He said, "Bro, Dion is 5'2", blocking a shot."
Booby been on the laptop cooking up graphics since the moment we stepped foot in the ball.
Booby will be up on my list once I get him to come over because I have a spot for one more, Booby. You just let me know.
What scares me most about Booby is that he just turned 20.
Listen, when we
24-year-old Booby looked like that great.
did true or false, did Booby run a red light, taking a left turn at a red light, going to Butler?
With
True.
the car that drives itself.
Did his Tesla also go on 2 wrong turns getting back to the Airbnb yesterday? Also true. His stocks dipped a little bit, but that's when you buy. You buy stock on the dip. I got Booby stock.
Counterpoint though, did he not have his car pull itself out when we walked out of the Hinkle practice?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
We're ready for you. This is called,
Yeah, come on.
My guy G's back. Listen, when the chat says they like the interaction, I got to keep them happy.
Come on in. I guess I was up to Charles.
Yeah, come on.
Big G Wiz.
We love JK. Shout out JK, maybe the greatest producer on the planet.
I tried.
JK.
I tried. And Booby. Shout out Sweeney, by the way.
Okay, let's get Matt's
Yep.
out. Let's get where's Cart?
Let me go get Cart.
Go get Cart.
Let me go get Cart. I love you, chat. We love you. I appreciate you all.
All right, let me check the time real quick. We have 30 minutes. That's perfect. We're going to do UConn, Michigan preview, national title time. Carter Elliott's people, Darren is going to join us. And in the meantime, Mr. Kevin Sweeney, CBB Central himself, is in the building. How are you?
I mean, it's Sunday at the Final Four, so good, bad, and ugly all at once. Probably the best way of putting it. But I mean, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Are you content with the matchup that we have as it defines this season?
I think so.
Does it feel like it fits the both of us?
I do think there is I'm not going to say there's an asterisk without Duke making the Final Four, but I do think for as hyped up as that game was, Duke Michigan, and the potential that would be one of 2 meetings, the fact that we didn't see it again doesn't sit quite right. But also the team that beat them is playing Michigan, king of the court style. They've earned it, and I mean UConn in this tournament, time and time again, it's proven to be as difficult a challenge as any. So from that perspective, I think yes, whoever wins will be a very deserving champion. And I mean UConn, or excuse me, Michigan, if they do it, would be one of the best teams I can remember doing this. So it's funny. I wrote about that in some respects last night for SI, and I think where I came down was it's not even. It's not so much, oh, well, Carabin's shot in an NBA or in a Super Bowl setting before. Or oh, Jaden Ross is sat on the bench while we won a national championship. It's less that. It's I think for as crazy and maniacal as Hurley can look at times, I think part of the secret sauce is he is unbelievably good at filtering out who the winners are. Right? Terrence Reed was an 8-24 Michigan center. I don't need to remind you that, right? And I talked to Terrace last night, and Terrence Reed said, when he visited on the parade day for UConn, he didn't want to touch the trophy because he wanted to earn one himself. Those are the people that he brings in the building. The Braylon Mullinses, the Terrence Reeds, relentlessly competitive people that fit him. Because you're just not going to make it if you don't. And so I think that's where the championship pedigree kicks in, more so than we've won 2 championships or the program has won however many championships for the last 25 years. 6, I believe.
What are they, 7-0?
6-0, I think.
6-0.
Oh, yeah.
It is time. It is UConn Michigan preview part. I will start with you. It's a similar question to what I just asked Sweeney. Does this feel fitting of the moment of this season that these are the 2 teams meeting in the final moment?
Can I say it doesn't matter if it's fitting? Because I think it's going to be a great game. That's the thing. It's going to be a really good game, and that's really what I think matters at the end of the day. It's going to be a great game, and that's really all you need. And look, I think the more fitting ending would have been maybe a rematch of the earlier setting, maybe a Duke Michigan or a Florida Michigan game. Maybe in my mind that's what's been more fitting given how the season went. But look, you have Dan Hurley basically won in the Final Four game, and now he's got 24 hours, give or take a few hours, to prepare for what might be one of the greatest teams that we have seen in a long time. I know Sweeney said it himself. Like, if they win this title, I'm going to have a hard time not putting them as the best team that I've seen in a long, long time. So, look, maybe it's not fitting as you're getting like the team you think have been the best all year, but there is something fitting about Dusty May and like what is standing in between him and maybe being the best coach in the sport is the best coach in the sport in Dan Hurley.
Let me ask this around the whole style. Who has more at stake? Dan Hurley, maybe cementing greatest coach of all time status, or at least greatest coach of this era, or Dusty May, who's first, overcoming the mountaintop, who has more at stake?
UConn fans, don't get mad at me, but I've been pro Dan Hurley. He's obviously awesome. If Dusty May wins a natty after he already gets FAU to a Final Four, that puts them on like really even footing for me. So like Dusty May, you're talking like best coach in the sport if you win this game tomorrow. Whereas like for Dan Hurley, he's just good as shit already. Like that doesn't change if he goes from 2 to 3. He's incredible either way. But Dusty is like, okay, these are the guys for the next decade if he wins this game tomorrow.
I think we tend to like underrate how hard it is to have a team this good, right? Like, yes, it's year 2 for Dusty. I have no doubt that this is not the last we are seeing of them. But like, let's be very, very clear. Like a team with 3 NBA players in the front court and everything else that they have brewing, like doesn't come around very often. Like there's an urgency of the moment. And Hurley actually talked about this today. Like someone asked him, like, what was the pressure like in 24 when you knew you were the best team? You knew you were like an all-time good team. And like losing would be a massive disappointment. He was like, yeah, it just felt different. Like you can't quantify how much it would hurt not to get it. And I do feel that way with Dusty, even though I think there's a great chance that he'll be back and that he'll continue to win and win and win. Like you wish it would be that easy, right? You wish you'd say, and like, look, me and you can sit at a bar in Chicago or sometime and map out like the 17 portal all-stars that Michigan's going to tamper with and get for next year. But at the end of the day, it's real. Like we can map that out. Like even with every guy you want, you may not get it. Like you may not get what this was. This was a perfect storm. So I think the pressure's all on Dusty and all on Michigan.
You're right, guys. I think it's one of the more interesting dynamics I've ever seen in this sport. I'm a fan of it.
You didn't even ask.
I'm going to get you in the moment. I'm going to lead you in. Let me play Braden Smith right now. I've only covered this for 5 years. I can't recall a moment where the quote-unquote underdog has been someone who should never be like that. That's where we're headed. Like, if you want to root against the big bad wolf, you are rooting for Dan Hurley.
Right.
UConn Hustlers.
He's scary. Yeah, he's scary.
Like that's unprecedented to be crazy, but it's how good this Michigan is.
Keep the mic on the table.
Obviously speaks to just how good Dan Hurley is that this team is now in this position. We looked at that region as a death trap of Hall of Fame coaches. It shouldn't be a surprise that the Hall of Fame, the best of the bunch, won out. Is my mic on?
You know what? I think they're saying it, but I'm not really sure. And I might be wrong by saying this. But here's my takeaway on this. I think that if Dusty loses this basketball game, I think we'll come away from it saying, like, Dusty is still top of the top, cream of the cream, like creme de la creme. He just got by Dan Hurley. That happens. Everyone gets got by Dan Hurley. I think Dan Hurley has more on the line in this game. I think, is there a wooden statue outside Purdue or UCLA? Before there's even a parade, if UConn wins this game,
come on,
a Hurley statue should argue this. I know Goodman has watched 270 years of college basketball. I'll hear whatever you winning against this Michigan team, he's the greatest college basketball coach of all time, bar none.
I agree. All right, let's talk X's and O's. One of the best post-player runs I have ever seen. What Terrence Reed has done in 5 games in this tournament, to me, tournament. I've compared it to like the idea of a front court to win a title. Same way. Matt, is it possible for Terrence Reed to dominate this Michigan front court?
I did probably the most UConn previews and recaps on the channel this year. I watched this team a ton. I would have said no even like a month ago. But the strides he's made, like not getting in bad foul trouble, not having dumb turnovers anytime he gets doubled, like I think he can hang. I mean, but we just saw Mara like literally stifle Privas, and Toby Awaka looked like a little kid being held at arm's length the whole game. So like, Terrence Reed is obviously better than Toby Awaka, but like, it's a tough front court to go up with. I don't know. It's a tough ask, but if anybody left in the field, or anybody in this Final Four group could do it, it's Terrence Reed. I mean, he's been incredible.
So it's weird because there are a couple parts of this matchup as a Michigan fan that I'm like, oh, UConn checks the boxes of what you need to beat Michigan. We'll get to those in a minute. But just as a starting point, how does UConn want to win games? A ground-bound center that doesn't shoot threes is not the formula to beat Michigan. If that's your best player, what do they need from Terrence Reed?
I mean, number one, he has to stay on the floor because even if he's not scoring the basketball the same way, like it's scary hours if Eric Rive is the guy.
Sure.
The one of the great skills of Terrace in this tournament has been his availability. The fact that he has been on the floor for 33 plus minutes in 4 or 5 games. That's huge. So first of all, they need him in the game. Number two, like he has to be a deterrent at the rim, right? You cannot. It's one thing if Adai is going to shut off your water a little bit in terms of scoring around the basket. You can't win if you get nothing at the rim and they get everything they want at the rim, right? And so that to me is like obviously incredibly important. And then I think Terrace on the glass will have to be really big, right? Like I'm not so worried about can like UConn get Terrence Reed post-ups and score on the block against Adai. Because I also think at the end of the day, like it's nice to have those, but like I see very little world where he dominates the game offensively, right? At most, it's like he gives them some like 0.9 point per possessions of like grinding out buckets. I sound like Evan Miyakawa here, but like just grinding out like poor analytic basketball. It like keeps you afloat. Like that would be valuable if they get that alone.
Yeah.
What like anything beyond that would be a bonus offensively to me. But it's all the other stuff I think that's important.
But let me ask the group this, and then we'll move on. Is there a world that UConn wins this game and Terrence Reed punks the Michigan front court? Yes or no?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Is that a possibility?
Terrence Reed punks the Michigan front court? No.
Dominates the Michigan front court?
I don't think it's possible.
I'm with Sweeney. Why do you guys say yes?
He's real good at basketball. I mean, like, it's just, I'm going to make it real simple. He's on a heater. Like, Furman is not somebody you think of with this crazy front court, but like Cooper Bowser is kind of nice, and the guy goes for 30 and 20. I know he's not the Michigan front court, but like Terrence Reed is just having a great tournament. Would you count him out? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't count him out.
Can I say my piece on this?
Yes.
The one thing about Terrence that I think will work in his fashion, I like using the data point of what happened in the Big Ten tournament game.
Sure.
Of what TKR and Fluff did. I thought that they were physically dominant.
Two guys.
Here's my counterpoint to that. And I talked about this with Fluff when we talked about that preview. The one thing Terrence has going for him is one of the best ways to neutralize a shot blocker is if you seal him 2 inches from the hoop. You kind of neutralize him being able to use his length. If you seal him low enough, also put that weight on Mara as well. Mara can be foul prone and sometimes. I hate that strikes are going to play such a big part of this game. If Terrence gets 2, that's going to be honestly over. If Mara does, that maybe doesn't affect Michigan as much. But I think that
Terrence
can have the ability to seal down low. And I think you have seen them lose games. Like Purdue made how many threes that game that they won? 4. Like that, I'm still in shock trying to compute how that game exactly happened. But like they legit won that game.
I'll tell you how it happened. TKR fed us.
Can Terrence do that?
Maybe.
I think this version of Terrence can't.
I think Terrence Reed has an argument to just be defined as the best post player in America right now. I also think this is the last front court you want to see if you're the quote unquote best front court player in America. As a Michigan fan, if UConn wins this game, to me it comes down more to the peripheral stuff. What are they running off ball? Are they springing Caravan open? Are they exploiting Yaxel's injury? Who goes nuclear from 3 in the backcourt? I would be very surprised if it is as simple as Terrence Reed punks Michigan's front court. I don't think that's been a formula. Now, I do think UConn checks the boxes of formulas to beat Michigan. 2 things that really matter to me. Slowing the pace, a low possession game. I've been adamant all year. You do not want an 80 possession game against this team. It doesn't help you. Purdue, Duke both did this to a great effect. They halted that game and just made it execution, and that's it in the half court. I think UConn can do that. While you do that, I also think you need to make shots from outside. Now, you look at the Wisconsin game, even the Duke game, they had stretch 5s that could pull Mara out. I'm not sure UConn does that. Obviously, Caravan at the 4 will be a problem for whoever's at the court for Michigan. But, Matt, I'll go back to you. To me, those are – I said in the Arizona preview, they won't slow it down. They don't want to shoot from 3. UConn wants to do both. What do they need to do in that sense to win this game?
Well, just going back to, like, the Terrace theme to kind of lead into this, like, he could dominate this game going for 15 and 10 if he can just, like, make them account for him on every possession, because if he can pass out of doubles, like UConn is so good at scoring off screens, and Carter said this in the recap, like they're going to run Yakel around screens the entire game here. If they're making shots and Terrace actually has gravity, you got to like also force some turnovers. Like Kadau gets a little sloppy at times. Like UConn is real tough if you're giving them 3 points off of turnovers. So you spot them 10, 15 points off turnovers. They hit 3s off screens. Terrence Reed stays out of foul trouble. Like, that gives them a chance to win this game. And I'll trust Caravan and Hurley late against any other coach-player duo in the country.
The issue I see is, like, for Michigan, like, this isn't a normal game. Like, if this was like sure. I was thinking – a lot of people compare playing UConn to playing Iowa. I think about like Nebraska and like the game in Ann Arbor, and like that was a game they should never have like been. It should never have been as close as it was. But like at the end of the day, like Michigan just kind of like slowly but surely overwhelmed them with physicality and toughness. And number 1, UConn is tougher than Nebraska. But number 2, like what happens when Michigan's down 8 in the second half? Right? Like you can't expect them to respond the same way they did in front of a home crowd in Ann Arbor on a Tuesday in January as they would on a Monday night in April in the national championship game. That's what would scare me, is that if it becomes an execution-based war, which is a UConn edge, how quickly do we start to press? How quickly do we start to see turnovers? How quickly do Yakel and Kadau like start to go try to like win the game themselves, right? Like, I think this, like, whoever starts this thing out hot, like, it's weird to say UConn can't make a comeback against Michigan because they just did it against Duke, but, like, it's so scary to play from behind the way that they want to play, right? At the end of the day, like, with the way that, like, UConn is going to try to execute and slow the game down and run sets, like, it's going to be really, really hard to climb out of the type of hole that they had to climb out of earlier in this tournament. Michigan is a different beast. And Michigan is harder to come back on, I think, because of how physical and how good they are on the glass, even more so than Duke was. Yeah. So, to me, it's all about, can someone get out hot early? And if that's the case, where does that leave you? And if UConn gets out early, how does Michigan respond to that?
Injury status. Yakel expected to play. MRI's negative. We have no idea if it's 10% or 90%. Solo Ball did not practice today. It doesn't sound good. At the same time, may play. Who does the injury concerns? It's equal, both teams, I would say. Yaxel's obviously the better player, but is there a swing one way or the other from the availability?
I think the Yaks injury is a lot scarier to me because of, number one, how it could impact UConn impact Michigan defensively. Like that to me is my big concern. It's like if Yaxel's on the floor, who is he guarding? He can't chase around Caravan, probably can't chase around Solo. He could guard Demery and like hope Demery doesn't beat him off the bounce. But like I worry defensively about that. And
he didn't look good moving. He hit his shots, but
like that
second half movement was bad.
That's way scarier to me than not having Solo ball. Yeah. Because as good as Solo ball is, and as much as he can change a game with the shooting, like you're gonna need special contributions regardless. Like you're gonna need like Jalen Stewart to like make shit happen, right? You're gonna need Jaden Ross to make a couple threes like he did. Like you're gonna need Mullins. Like they were gonna need all of it anyway. And quite frankly, like Solo's a train wreck defensively. He is so bad on that end of the floor. I think there was gonna be points where they had to take him out anyway. So that I would be more worried about what Yaxel does and how it screws up Michigan's lineups. And I do think it might become really important for these wings. And you and I have talked about stuff there. Roddy and Trey have been insane.
So good.
Like they have 8 starters. That's why they've been so good. Obviously, like the top tier guys are what we talk about, but like those wings have been insane. And maybe those guys just like play great and it doesn't matter. But I worry a lot about like, all right, like how uncomfortable we're already gonna be uncomfortable matchup wise in this game for Michigan because of the shooting and because of the movement. And now we're gonna like our most versatile defender is now limited physically, particularly like moving laterally. Like that's very scary to me.
Yeah. Matt, any thoughts on the availability of both teams?
I think the Solo ball thing is a bigger deal personally, just because. And I've listened to UConn fans tell me all year that Jaden Ross is actually better than Solo ball, which, as a DMV guy, is crazy. Get out of here with that. But to me, there's no way that UConn wins this if Solo ball doesn't hit like 3 threes or like they need some contribution from him. Whereas like Michigan is better equipped to survive the loss of a player, even of Yaxel's stature. So I just don't know if Ball doesn't play and play well, who replicates that production? Whereas like with Michigan, they've got 2 other really, really good bigs. So I think they could better overcome that than UConn can.
Yeah, I mean, it might be the cop-out answer, but I just think that because Michigan has, like, obviously Yaxel's a better player than Solo Ball, but I think Michigan has more depth to be, to go against that. And I think, UConn fans, they complain a lot about Solo Ball. At the same time, he's had some big moments for them. And, I feel like he's one of those players, too, that you complain about, but then, once he's not there, you're like, wait a minute. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh. I still want Solo Ball to be on my team. Do we have extension?
We have breaking news.
We have extension.
I would not call it an extension.
That's an extension.
That is not an extension.
That's an extension.
That is, money line. Let's read word for word. Pete Thamel reports. Sources. Dusty May has informed Michigan officials he is not pursuing any college basketball jobs.
Liar.
Per Pete Thamel and Jeff Borzello, May had been an initial target in North Carolina that never materialized because of Michigan advancing in the NCAA tournament. This was texted to me, courtesy of Jeff Borzello, who said, quote, meant to tell you to turn alerts up. Let me be extremely clear. No new extension has been signed. Kevin Sweeting, you work in the news breaking space. I have held the theory for 5 years that when you sign an extension before a big game, you lose the next big game. Does Dusty May fall victim to this or not with the news that he will not be pursuing a new job?
I'm just going to say, I have never seen a tweet say he is not pursuing college basketball jobs before.
Well, I said that, right?
Oh, I know exactly what I said.
Billy. Why? Billy to UNC and then Dusty to the Bulls.
I mean, I'm not sure Dusty's going to the Bulls, but I do think Dusty will want to explore the NBA at some point soon, right? And
5 years. In the next 5 years.
Might be in the next 5 weeks.
Maybe in the next 48 hours.
Right? Like to me, like
Next 5 weeks.
wins a national championship tomorrow.
Wins a national title. Go wherever you want to go. Go wherever you want to go.
We're good then.
Glasses are being broken.
Pretty sure our producer just broke a glass. So there's that.
No, listen, I'm on record as a Michigan fan. Win a title, go wherever you want to go. UNC, anywhere else, I'll applaud you for it. This was not an extension. There was not an extension. Of course there will be. But not until after this game.
If the mic was in the other hand.
But that's Dusty
it would be
May.
an extension.
Dusty May's that competent. We're not announcing an extension until after this game.
Dusty's so perfect.
Has he made a mistake this year?
No, I mean, it's kind of fitting that this is an Easter episode. Jesus Christ has competition. Sorry, Jay Ivan, Riley Davis. But he has competition, and it's Dusty May.
Sweetie, are you aware that Loyola Chicago has made the same number of Final Fours as Tom Izzo in the last 10 years?
I wish I was aware.
I am currently aware of that. So if you want to work with that,
I think I want to resign.
Yeah,
I think I
go
want
ahead.
to resign.
Let's send it to some recruits.
Yeah, I'm resigning.
No, you're not resigning.
I'm
You're not
resigning. No extension.
All right, we're going to do a little around the horn. We're going to wrap in about 5 minutes. First, 7-game series. This UConn team, this Michigan team, what's the result?
Michigan wins 4-2.
UConn 4-3.
Could you please elaborate on that?
If I can't resign, I'm just going to try to get fired.
I think Michigan sweeps.
Michigan in 5.
Sweet? Nope, none for her.
7-game series?
Wow.
7-game series? I think it's
You get one on shooting variance, right? I mean, UConn's going to shoot enough balls. They have enough good shooters.
What
They get one on variance.
They made 12 threes for the first time this year last game.
But they have big-time shooters on their roster.
They do. They have the ability.
And a lot of white.
They made 12 threes for the first time this year last game.
Raylan Mullins is from Indiana. Did you know that?
Special. None of us know where Indiana is. Elliot Kadau thinks we're playing on Pluto. Like, seriously.
Shout out to Sauce Kill.
I'm just saying. All right. Anybody have anything else before predictions?
No, I mean, I think that Hurley is being doubted a little bit, or at least even if he isn't, he's going to carry himself like, oh, y'all got me messed. Like you see, last night when he got those boos in the stadium, he looked around like, yeah, I like that. I like making people think that they can get me. I think that's going to be a part of it tomorrow.
Dan Hurley as an underdog in the national championship makes no sense. It makes no they can't be the underdog. They're the big bad wolf. Like who is the neutral fan rooting for in this game?
I have no idea. I mean,
give me the Sweeney diagnosis.
Given our president, probably Dusty May.
I have no idea what that means, but all right.
I would say people are probably rooting for Michigan. I would say they're probably rooting for
my dog. My dog.
People want to save the Big Ten.
Was it the headbutt? Why are they booing? Flying home. What? Who's the neutral fan rooting for?
What was that?
Who's the neutral fan rooting for in this game?
You are a neutral fan, technically. Who are you rooting for?
Dan Hurley?
Yes.
Dan Hurley or a fun team?
The broadcast going black and nobody winning. That's who I'm rooting for. Sorry, guys. No, I'm rooting for Greg to be happy at the end of this because I want to stay on the sleepers team next year.
That's also great.
I mean, that's just
Resign.
pandering
Resign.
to your own.
That is
process.
100% banner. Yes.
Resign.
I'm rooting for Greg. I don't know
Who
that.
are you rooting for? Come here, big fella. Come here.
Who am I rooting for? I just want to see a classic game, to be honest with you. Like we saw a blowout in Michigan, Arizona. We hyped it up, and Illinois, UConn really felt like bad bump at most of the times. Like I kind of want to see.
That's because it was
really
two bad basketball teams.
Well, that's what I would love these two good basketball.
Teams that can't beat Michigan.
I want a good game. I want a good game, and as much as I would hate it, I do want to see Greg happy. I think it would mean a lot to me, but also my life would be hell moving forward if he's a champion. that banner behind you in the Zoom would really hurt my soul. How am I supposed to work in that environment?
I don't know. You're going to have to figure that out.
Anywho.
All right, we're about to sign off. We're going to do predictions in a moment. Let me talk to the camera for about 60 seconds first. Camera, hello. Hi.
Greg Waddell, yes, me. Lose Yourself just started playing. That's not Lose Yourself. That's Paper Planes by MIA.
For the Detroit boys, let's go.
Oh, I'm terrified of Dan Hurley in the underdog spot. I'm terrified of Dan Hurley in the underdog spot with a former Michigan center as his star. That's like lined it up, domino effect, worst case scenario for me. I think this Michigan team is infinitely better than UConn, and I think this has been a very special season. And on an emotional note, I never thought I would cover a Final Four with my team here. With people like Sweeney that I love and respect in the sport. We just started working with Matt this year. We've got a team of 10 here. We had a team of 3 here a year ago. It's insane for me that we're doing content like this while my team that I root for is doing what they're doing. So in a lot of ways, it feels too good to be true. It probably is too good to be true, but I've enjoyed every second of the ride. I appreciate everybody watching it, even as I have been insufferable along the way. With that said, it is time for predictions. Well, let's get everybody up here. Ian, up. JK, everybody up. Get everybody up. We're doing predictions. J-Man, where's J-Man? J-Man, up. Ralph, up. Everybody that's been on camera, up.
This is an insane poll.
Lurk, come up. Lurk, you come up.
You out here?
Piper, I get your autograph.
After this, Bookie.
J Hart sprinting. Crazy. All right.
I feel way too sexual on this game right now.
You should be. All right. Yeah, look. All right. We have everybody that has mattered, even peripherally, to the Sleepers team on stage right now. We're going to hand the mic to everybody one by one. Prediction, Michigan versus UConn, national championship. Starting on the left, going this way. Booby goes first. Go ahead, Booby.
Keep the 90-point streak alive. Michigan 93, UConn 82.
Yeah.
I'm currently in a war with Oklahoma for the crown, and we're down by 10. But I got Michigan 98, UConn 77.
I mean, nothing could have prepared me for Booby's voice right there. That was crazy. 73-63 Wolverines.
I got UConn 74-65. Dan Hurley does it again.
I like that. Same score. I go same score. I think the same thing's going to happen. And to my haters, I know you're sick. Sick than a bitch. Sorry for my language. Tristan's shaped like an auntie taking a picture right now. Love you, though. I got UConn by 10.
Michigan's the better team, but I was front row last year for Dan Hurley and Alex Caravan almost beating Florida. Give me UConn 71-68. Sorry, Greg. I love you.
Simple. Michigan wins this game 86-79. Simple.
82-67.
Why did JK
Michigan.
like an NBC?
Belt. Pure belt. It's going to be bad.
Short and sweet, Michigan by 18.
I said before the tournament, Michigan would not play a game within single digits. I'm standing by that. I got Michigan 88 to UConn 64.
And Brian Ralph to bring us home, Mr. Donut Beer Walking Pizza himself.
Too many people here picked UConn to make me feel comfortable picking UConn. Michigan's going to win 79-70. Dusty May gets coronated as one of the best coaches in the country, officially, and one of the best coaches of this generation.
Dusty May gets what?
Coronated.
To everybody who has watched Sleepers Media this year, it's been the best year of our lives. We thank you so much. I could not imagine this is where it's at when we started 5 years ago. Everybody you see on camera right now has been a part of it. It means the world to me on a personal level. I cannot believe my team is here while I'm doing it. And I love all of you. I love everybody here. Thank you for being here. Have fun tomorrow night. We'll have the recap up Tuesday at some point. In the meantime, have fun. Thank you for watching. Let's go have a night, everybody.
Matt Grossenbach, I didn't forget.